Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the app today.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Hello, and welcome to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Petrogallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmy Wisman.
Thank you so much for joining us today on another insane, crazy downhill edition of Crime and Sports. And it's crazy today because we're talking murder today. This is going to be, I'll tell you right up front what's going to happen. This is going to be, there is some bloody nastiness going on today's show. So,
the body.
Oh boy, more than one, Jimmy. It's
oh shit.
Oh yeah, this is quite the tale I'm going to tell you here today. And of course, we are going to have an update at the end on Aqib Talib as well.
What the fuck, man?
We are clairvoyant. That happens. We release an episode, and 5 days later, him and his brother are involved in a shooting. It's honestly the most ridiculous thing ever. It was our 315th episode, and right at that point, this happens. It's nuts. Quickly though, at the top of the show, thank you so much for everything that you do for us. Thank you for everything, including your reviews, 5 stars on whatever app you're listening to. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com for everything, all your merchandise, tickets for live shows. We have Small Town Murder at the Pabst in Milwaukee coming up. We have Nashville, but that's going to be sold out. It's been sold out. So there's that. And then Florida.
It's this coming weekend. It's going to be insane.
Yeah, Florida was at September 23rd and 4th, I believe.
Yes. That's right.
That is Tampa and Orlando, 2 shows each night. They're going to be different shows, both Small Town Murder, different shows for each city.
Each right.
Yeah. Each night gets 2 different shows. So do that. Right. Get your tickets to that right now. Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get all of the crazy bonus stuff. And is there so much bonus stuff? And we get asked all the time, do you get the back catalog of Patreon? Absolutely. You bet your ass you get the back catalog. There's over 100 episodes on there, tons of stuff. And every other week, you're going to get 2 new episodes, 1 Crime and Sports, 1 Small Town Murder, and you'll get access to it all, damn it.
Yes.
Anybody $5 or above. This week, what you're going to get is, for Crime and Sports, we're going to talk about the Brett Favre dick pic scandal. Number 1. And a couple of just weird sports sex things. There's a female golfer who allegedly forced her caddy to impregnate her for fear of his job, and a couple other Gary Payton with some weird stuff, just some weird sex stuff. And then Small Town Murder, we're going to talk about 2 of the most terrible people ever, Leonard Lake and Charles Eng, kind of in their own words, and especially concentrating on Charles Eng's testimony because it's ridiculous and hilarious. So we'll do all of that, and that's patreon.com/crime and sports. And you'll get a shout out at the end of the show.
Bet.
Of course, where Jimmy will mispronounce your name terribly while wanting and trying his best to get it correct. So we'll do that. And if you want to get just your shout out, you can do that at PayPal using our email address, crimeandsports@gmail.com. I do want to say thank you. We're recording this episode pretty much right after leaving Sacramento and San Francisco, doing 2 shows in each of those cities back-to-back nights. So if my voice sounds scratchy, it's because the end of the 4th show, I was doing Vince McMahon too. So it was like, oh boy, it got my voice is thrashed. So yeah, doing this 4 times in 24 hours is not easy, basically. So anyway,
larynx, James.
I think maybe you do. No, but thank you. Honestly, San Francisco and Sacramento, thank you so much. What amazing crowds you guys are. First of all, San Francisco, thank you for all the love on the Rod Beck jersey, by the way. The whole staff of Cobbs went batshit for that, and it was so cool. It was cool to have people remember Rod and love Rod. That was really, really awesome. And then Sacramento, that crowd, man, holy shit. They were just we were tired, and then as soon as we got on stage, couldn't be tired because you guys had all the energy in the world, and so did we. And you ended up, people from Small Town Murder sold out Crime and Sports and said, "Damn it, I want to see a second show."
Right?
Because we throw down on a live show, so come see a damn live show.
And specifically, Allie in Sacramento, thank you for sticking around to talk to us. You really changed my
in the
day.
audience, not the staff.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's a great. Yeah, thank you for hanging out.
Her and her
That was
husband
really nice.
are terrific people. It was great to meet both of you.
So that said, let's get to a terrible story that has no anything nice or heartwarming or anything to it. It's really just a bad story about bad things that happened. We're going to talk about Joaquin Miguel Balassa Jr.
Oh.
So right away, suspicious. I didn't think the Junior was going to. Oh, Junior. I was thinking, okay. I didn't hear of him. Now, Junior. Now I know who it is. Ken Griffey. It doesn't. Oh, Junior. Yeah. Now I know who you're talking about. Never heard of him before that one.
Never heard of him still.
Joaquin Balassa is his name, Junior, and he goes by, his nickname is Fire. Joaquin Fire Balassa.
Oh.
He's sort of a wannabe MMA fighter. He does have a little bit of professional MMA going on, but it's not much and it's not good. So we'll discuss it.
Nickname of Fire.
Fire. And,
not even Fuego?
No. Fire. That's it. Joaquin Fire Balassa Jr. He was born in 1987. He is from Tehachapi, California. That's how you say that, right? Tehachapi, I believe.
Probably.
Yeah, Tehachapi, California. And he grows up here. From what I found, his dad is, I saw his dad senior there, has a I found listings of property and shit like that. So I was like, okay, there's a senior to his junior. That senior seems to be around. You know what I mean? So we know that. He lives in the area anyway. So I don't know what kind of relationship they had. Now, what I found here on Old Fire is he wrestled in high school. Okay, so I found some high school wrestling results from newspapers from 2003 in California here. Okay. So I found some of that, and he seems to be losing all the time. He doesn't seem to be very good at this. We'll put it that way. He's wrestling at 130 for Tehachapi High School, and he is losing to a guy named Daniel Weatherly from Exeter High School in one of these, and then he's losing again to some other guy. He's 5th place in a tournament here. He beat somebody named Cody Gibson, which, I mean, that doesn't sound very tough.
Who the hell's that?
You should be able to beat a guy named Cody Gibson, I would imagine.
Really?
Even on your worst day.
You should be able to smack the shit out of that guy.
Yeah, except for Cody East. Remember him?
Yeah.
That lunatic.
He was a monster, yeah.
That guy was fun. All I remember about him is he was hip-tossing teenage girls at one point during a party. He was 18, 6'4", 220 pounds, and the police report said he was, quote, hip-tossing 14-year-old girls around one after another. Which that was hilarious. I remember thinking, like, why were they after the first hip toss? Run, everyone, run, scatter.
What girl would
Holy
challenge
shit.
a man who's willing to throw her best friend?
Like, he hip tossed one, then the other one stepped up and went, I can't believe you did that to her. That's so messed up. Hip toss her. Oh my God, you do not do that to Alec. Hip toss her. Oh my God. Now that you hip tossed all 3 of these girls. What is wrong with you? Hip toss her. That's all I could think. And they had like a line of girls to come up and tell him he was wrong while he just hip tossed them without listening.
A whole bunch of girls named Miranda and Amanda, and he's just throwing them around the room.
All sorts of Amandas getting tossed everywhere. He changed the name of the move from a hip toss to Amanda. I manded her all over the place, man. Manded her right in the coffee table. It worked out well. So anyway, yeah, I see him losing a lot, except he is, like I said, 5th place in this tournament at 130 pounds. And he's not the only people below him were people that got hurt and had to leave the tournament. So and Cody Gibson, of course.
So injuries and one guy he lost or that he beat.
One guy he beat. So I don't feel like he's real good at it. But
at least not dominant.
Not dominant. Absolutely. Yeah, he's not like, oh man, state champion Fire Balassa here. So I'm going to give him that one win. So we do see him win a high school wrestling match. Grace.
Yeah.
Yeah, Grace. That's Grace, everybody. That's Grace. 5th place in a high school wrestling tournament. Literally Grace. That's Grace.
From here on out, it's all bad.
It's all at least then there was potential. This is what I'm going to get at here. At least 5th place, there's hope. There's room for improvement. There's something. He might have a future in front of him. After this, it's no longer the future. Now it's the present, and his present is not good. So
he's not even on the podium.
No, he's nowhere near it. Jesus Christ.
He's still got two guys in front of him.
He's hanging out with two injured dudes and a guy named Cody going, well, fuck. And then another one in front of him.
At least this day could have been minorly worse.
Yeah, well, I guess I could have lost to Cody. That would have been worse. But so it's really, he does nothing after that. He has it doesn't really seem to have a lot of drive in him, I got to say, maybe. Maybe that's it. Or he's also, as we'll find out from his future behavior, I don't know how mentally sound this man is. No. I feel like he's not mentally there based
even
on
prior,
all of his actions. Yeah, I feel like maybe this is something that's either organic or just he's always been an asshole. I don't know, one or the other. Just from, you'll see here. So after high school, while working at normal jobs, he's not like he's not some kind of prodigy where there's some like manager putting money into him or anything. Yeah. He works somewhere and then goes to the gym at night if he can afford it. That's what he does. So he's trying to train in jiu-jitsu, taekwondo, and kickboxing, which is the kind of the MMA. If that's how he wants to fight
core.
MMA. Yeah, he wants to. I don't know if it's the core, but I know it helps to know how to strike, and jiu-jitsu is helpful for grappling. So I assume seems
three,
logical. Yeah.
Generally the quarter at the center of the rubber band ball.
Seems like it, I would imagine. I mean, just from a layman's point of view, from the outside watching it. So now 2006, I find here that, so he's about 19. This is right after high school. See, this is the thing, too. A guy like this, we don't know what his juvenile record is. We have no idea, because something like that would be sealed, and he's not famous enough for some reporter to fucking
pry it open.
Yeah, he's not Deshaun Watson or something, or, somebody who did something like whatever. So
nobody's breaking into National Archives for this guy.
No, they're not going to find out, figure it out, go interview people. They're not going to pull like a Zodiac killer retrospective here. By the way, there is a documentary out on the Zodiac killer.
I've heard about this.
Okay, it is.
I refuse to watch it.
No, you should watch it because it's You should watch it just because you'll want to punch this guy in the throat so hard that you got to watch it.
That's exactly what I knew it was.
Yeah, it's this. Well, they totally by the third episode. No spoiler alert for this because we got to do a Patreon on it. But by like the first two episodes, I believe are like, his dad's absolutely the Zodiac killer. Absolutely. He's matched it up. Look at it. It's perfect. He's got this. Everything lines up. They wrote a book about it. It all fits. There's no other explanation for it. What else could it be? Holy shit. And then the third episode, they're like, yeah, because none of that was true, what they wrote. He took things that were, sort of similar, and then he made a connection to them and just made up the middle part that connected them. Like every conspiracy theory out there. He took two known facts and then just made a weak connection where the people can go, yeah, that's logical that A goes to B like that. Yeah. And then that's exactly what he did.
Shoddy electric work. That's what it is.
Yeah,
it's
piss poor.
Duct tape the wires together. They don't touch, but we'll get the current through.
That charge will jump. Don't worry if it's half an inch apart. It'll jump. That's where he was.
I knew it. I fucking knew it. And I saw it, and I was like, "This son of a bitch is grifting. He's stealing somewhere."
But it seems like I know this is way off the subject, and we will do a Patreon on it, but it seems like he had put so much into it that once it was obviously not connecting, I don't feel like he could let his brain not make it true. He had to make it so for himself, for his own sanity, or else he looked like a complete moron.
He needs his dad to be this. Otherwise, his life's a sham.
Well, by the way, and this is off the subject again, but just on human nature, and I think it fits with our crime and sports subjects in general, but what the fuck is that with people? What is that?
Is it a desire to be important?
No, not that part. The part of like when someone is wrong about something, if they've invested enough time in it and made that like their personality and their identity, they'll never say they're wrong, even if they are given definitive proof they're wrong and they know in their brain that they're wrong. Yeah. They won't ever admit it because then that shows that they're just their whole thing shatters at that point. Rather than just going, Jesus, I fucked that one up. and taking it on the chin and then moving on. I don't get why people can't do that. What is that about human nature?
Everybody needs Nathan Fielder to rehearse it a couple of times.
That's what I mean. I thank you for finally watching the rehearsal. It is the most wonderful show on television.
If it ever stops, I'm going to be furious.
I'm so mad.
I need it every week now.
When it ends, I'm like, no! Every week. How is it this short? Make it longer.
How is it so good is the real question.
We need to, we should keep him. It should be his assigned duty. It's he goes to federal prison if he doesn't produce several 3-hour-long episodes of this a month. I feel like that should be
his focus on Judaism with the Mel Gibson stuff. I had to rewind and watch it again. He's so funny. He's so
hilarious. So anyway, back to old Joaquin Balassa here. So 2006, he's got a whole bunch of criminal shit going on in 2006. Really? Seems to start losing his mind. Now, also, high school wrestling, there's some hits to the head there if you're hitting the head and on the mat. And then if he's getting into taekwondo, kickboxing, and fucking jiu-jitsu, we're talking a lot more blows to the head.
Yeah.
Possible brain damage. We don't know. It's never we don't know what the cause of it is, but
and he's an adult and living his life out there in California at this point.
In the world, just walking
2006,
around.
James, that was a frustrating time to be an American. I mean, the economy was fucked up.
It was about to fucking die. Things weren't going well.
Right.
So he had a shitload of things going on: weapons charges, drug charges, battery charges.
Really?
Yeah, he starts really going a little loopy here. And this I don't know. This is a absolute rumor from literally internet comments on stories about him. But on all stories about him, there's always somebody commenting like, I went to the gym with this guy, and it's a shame what happens when guys get on steroids like that and blah, blah, blah. So I don't know if that's true or not, obviously. That's allegedly from not even...
Somebody saw him in the gym, in the fucking locker room?
Yeah, we're talking anonymous comments on the internet, too. Not even a person saying that. So it's not even... I can't even attribute it to a human being at that point. It could be a bot. I have no idea.
It's not a guy saying, my name's Fred Rogers, and I have my Gold's Gym membership number is...
And a picture of him with his fists up, like his fighting headshot. Like, no, that's not up. It's never that. So, who knows? Anyway, he ended up at one point pleading no contest to battery with serious bodily injury.
A few times?
No, he pleaded no contest to battery with serious bodily injury in 2006.
Just the one time.
That's his plea, but he was arrested on a whole bunch of shit: weapons, drugs, battery, all sorts of shit. But this battery with serious bodily injury, that's what he pled to.
Yeah.
So that's a reduction.
It was probably attempted murder.
I was going to say that, or assault with intent to whatever the fuck, or battery with serious bodily injuries. That's the reduction. That doesn't sound good at all. No. I wouldn't. That's
a charge that'll get you sued.
I would say if you had any money, but he doesn't. So he definitely doesn't, as we'll talk about here. So he was sentenced to, you, sir, may fuck off 8 days in jail.
8 days?
You get in there for a week and a day, mister. That extra day is going to be the thing. Like, a week anyone can do, but that extra day, you're going to be thinking all day long about it. Trust me.
You go Sunday morning to next Sunday night.
You like that? Yeah. That's it. Two weeks of football you're going to miss.
You're going to miss 2 churches.
2. Jesus, your fantasy team's going to be all fucked up. You're not going to know what's going on.
Somebody's going to get injured this week, and you're going to have to keep him in next week.
You won't even know. It could be your running back. He'll have 0 points. 0. What if it's your quarterback? Then what are you going to do? It's over.
You're going to know Monday.
You're going to know Monday. Oh, looks like your defense is playing against. Oh, no. Look at that there.
Look at that.
They score a lot. They're playing Kansas City this week. That's going to be trouble. I don't know. Mahomes is hot. I don't know. I would bench them. I'd bench that defense. I'm telling you right now. So that's what's going on there. 8 days in jail. Now he starts fighting, or attempts to fight, professional MMA here. So from all I can find, there are rumors of a fight in 2010, which is just referred to as an unsuccessful attempt at cage fighting in 2010. So it wasn't on like any kind of reputable MMA database of fighters. Sure. So on a reputable one, I found his actual one. I suppose professional MMA is really It's a murky water because you don't know what's professional. Honestly, professional means you're getting paid. So they can give you 50. I've been to professional comedy shows that are terrible where I know everyone's getting paid $5, but that doesn't mean that they're good at comedy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I've been to quote-unquote professional shows where they collected from the audience if you think
sad.
they're funny, and they made $3-4. Yeah.
They made, we're like, oh, cool. Let's all chip in for pizza. Yeah, that's a great living. That's kind of what's MMA. It's really what is professional. So it's kind of whatever it is, these websites that seem to decide what are the ones that are going to count as actual professional fights. This is on March 29th, 2009. He fights in TWC 2, the Weather Channel 2. No. You don't do that. That's the Weather Channel.
It is.
On any cable package, if you're scrolling, I haven't had cable in years, but I remember TWC. That's the Weather Channel.
Isn't there a WC also?
WB?
WB. That's it. WC is a rapper, James.
Yeah. I was going to say, that's, I think, a person, not a channel. He may have his own channel by now. We don't know. We don't know.
Just fixes up old cars. Paints them all blue.
Fixes up old cars.
Paints them all blue and puts Dayton's on them.
They're so desperate on these channels that I'm sure they would. Discovery Plus. They're going to put it on there,
Dub C, Crip My Ride.
Yeah. Crip My Ride. That's the one. You know it's going to fucking happen next. Then they're going to have DJ Quick on the other side. Doing Blood My Shit on Peacock. It's going to be on Paramount Plus or whatever. Streamers, they need content. Is what we're getting at. Are you a rapper that hasn't made an album in 25 years? Well, you know how to fix anything?
Yeah. Which gang are you affiliated with? We will either Crip or Blood that.
Yeah. Pick a gang and then pick one thing that you're good at fixing up, and they'll give you a show. It doesn't matter if it's washing machines. It could be. I swear to God. That's it. It could be DJ Quick fixes washing machines dressed in red. And that would be a show at this point. It'd be like, there's got to be an audience for that.
He fixes toasters.
He's like Prop Joe. Yeah, he's Prop Joe from The Wire. He's sitting behind a counter unscrewing toasters going, I don't know now. Little reading glasses down at the end of his nose so you can see the screws. That is something. But that's the shows they have now. It's fucking ridiculous.
It's so dumb.
It's a lot. So, yeah. So who should have a show then? Us. At least
yeah, exactly. Give us
we're not washed up yet. So.
Right. We don't even Crip or Blood anything.
No, I swear to God. I'll Latin King it maybe, but you don't know. Listen. Hey, don't be picky, all right? You get what you get, people. So this is the Weather Channel 2, TWC2, The Warrior's Cage is what that means, TWC.
Yeah.
Name of the show? It's got to be a stupid name, of course.
Caged Revenge?
Dead Man's Hand.
Oh, for Pete's sake. A fucking pirate reference?
That's a Wild Bill Hickok
yeah, that's
reference.
Wild Bill Hickok.
Aces over eights.
Yeah.
So Aces over eights, we know what that means, so that makes no sense then to call a card that because it's aces over eights. We know what that is. It's not an idiom, it's an actual thing.
Yeah.
It's an actual hand. So
why do we have what's the dead man's hand in fighting?
I don't know. That's what I mean. I don't understand it. It makes no sense. But you know what? They named their fucking event the Weather Channel. So what do you want from them? It's at the Eagle Mountain Casino Event Center in Porterville, California. So wow, I feel like this audience has a biker or two in it. Probably. You know what I mean?
Feel like they are just what's the town?
Porterville.
They are desperate for entertainment.
Oh, God, yeah. This is another one of those that feels like it's in the parking lot. This is giving me Jared Wyatt vibes.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, in the parking lot with, like, a bunch of guys with, like SS tattoos on their chest with their shirts off watching it.
Not even in a match, just there to support a friend.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They're all there to support somebody. I mean, you got to support the cause, Jimmy. So there's 11 fights on this card, by the way. So that's a lot of fights. 11 fights is a long card.
That's a long day.
A long day in the Porterville sun, I got to say. I tell you, that better be indoors. I feel like it's not even sanctioned. It's just at the casino in the back of the parking lot.
Yeah.
You know, where there's dust. It's sort of not paved anymore back there.
We're gambling on this. There's a man holding up a handful of bills.
Just one handful, the biggest guy there, so no one will take it. He holds the money all the time.
What a frightening place this seems.
He's wearing no shirt and a leather vest, I feel like.
That looks good. That's a good
hairy.
look. Yeah.
Hairy, about
jeans,
340.
But are they shorts?
They might be. You know what? Not when he got there.
No.
Not when he got there. By fight 4, he cut him off.
They're fresh cut denim.
You heard denim ripping.
Yeah.
And that's
There's
what it was.
no strings hanging. It's straight cut denim.
Yeah.
Brand new cuts.
So, or he just gnawed it with his teeth and then ripped it. Either way, he fights a guy named Paul Estrada, who is coming off like a 4 or 5 year, actually a 6-year absence from fighting. He fought like 2 cards in 2003 and then hasn't fought in years. He's 3-0 coming into this fight.
Okay.
And it doesn't go very long. In the first minute, our guy here, Fire, gets burned in the first round with an arm bar, and he submits. So
damn it.
There's that. Paul Estrada will go on to be an illustrious 5-0 in his career.
That's it for him, huh?
Fighting in casino parking lots in Central California, basically. So that's how that goes. He apparently, like I said, did some janky low-rent cage fight in 2010 that didn't make the cut for this shit. And that's his MMA career, 0-1.
Wow.
So
solid work.
He beat Cody and then lost to Paul Estrada, and that's pretty much all we got on him in terms of his athletic accomplishments.
Wow.
The rest is all crime. Yeah,
that was fast.
That was fast. Yeah, that's that. That's why he graced out at 9 minutes. What do we want here? It's so
sometimes you don't have it, man.
Sometimes you just don't have it. That's how it works. So I found his MySpace page.
Oh, great. I love that. He had one in 2010?
Well, I mean, it could be from the 2006 era, 2007. Right. I mean, well, think about it. People still had those. MySpace was still going until about 2008, 9. Yeah. That's when Facebook really kind of crushed it at that point. This is pre-Instagram and obviously pre-Twitter, really. So that's when that happened. So, 2008, 9, you're still going to have one. And if you're going to be an MMA fighter, damn it, you better have you a MySpace page, buddy.
Well, Twitter started around 2007.
But, I mean, it wasn't like it
wasn't a giant thing. It was
10, 11, you know what I mean?
That's when it got nuts.
Yeah, Facebook wasn't until 2008, probably. So it really got, swelled.
Really, in the grand scheme of, fads and stuff, do you know what I mean? That stuff should be going the fuck away pretty soon, right?
Yeah, but unfortunately, it's now seen as I don't need cable. I have TikTok, where it's like, huh? Yeah. It's weird. And most importantly, they found a place for Kim Kardashian to sell makeup products to you.
Thank God.
That's it. That's all it is. So everybody's doing all of our things on there for the sole purpose of supporting the fact so people like that can sell you shit. That's literally all it is.
Isn't that amazing? You had to wait for a big event to be on TV for all the eyes to be glued to it.
Yeah.
And now you can just do your own and fucking sell everything you got.
It was kind of nice when we had, again, sorry, off the subject. Trust me, it's going to get gross in a minute here.
Okay.
It was kind of nice. I like obviously, it's nice to have choice of what I want this to be
sold. Yeah.
exactly I want to watch exactly this little niche thing, and it's there for you now. You know what I mean? Or I want to listen to 2 idiots make fun of a fucking a high school wrestler for a couple hours. It's there for you. You couldn't have that in 1975.
Yeah, true.
But in place of that, there was something to an experience that everybody shared, a shared experience that we all have. You know what I mean? So that was kind of nice. There used to be a commercial that everybody knew of and everyone in America saw and could be annoyed with. Whereas now it's that's unless it's targeted toward what you're watching on YouTube, it's not going to fucking be there or your streaming service or whatever the fuck. So. Yeah. We don't share anything anymore.
Yeah, the Got Milk and Budweiser frogs. That shit's over.
Yeah, we all used to watch the same facts on the same news, whereas now it's like, well, I like the news that says that the moon revolves around the sun, and I'll find that. And there's a goddamn whole network that's going, the moon, these crazy sun stays in one place, everything revolves around it, people will have you believe this, but it's not true.
I'm tired of listening.
Some dildo in a bow tie will be saying that, and then what are you going to do?
Right,
so... Anyway, so yeah, MySpace destroyed everything is what we're getting at.
Basically, right?
That's our old man rant of the day. MySpace. And MySpace came around and ruined it all.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
a big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
Have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them. Or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer. I can really show you how to make some money. And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you, the people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages, on the other end of the line. Thousands of them, working in a microcity built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
They started making pictures on your cell phones, and then what?
It's all going so great.
So I found who his connections are on MySpace. Okay, so I'm looking, and some of them I don't know who these people are. I assume a lot of them are MMA fighters because I see there's a Shamrock on here. Frank Shamrock, is he related to Ken Shamrock?
Absolutely.
Oh, there you go. So he's got Frank Shamrock. He's got, well, I'll read them. Maybe you know who these people are.
Okay.
These would be 2006 era MMA fighters. This is up your alley. Brandon Brown. I think he's a football player. Cameron Ascari, Allison. I'll leave the women out. Maybe those are like chicks he's trying to bang. I don't want to blow up regular chick spots here. They might be MMA fighters too. I have no idea. Jiz Skeet. I don't know who that is. But
the guy with the best name ever.
I feel like I don't need to protect the identity of Jiz Skeet. I feel like he would want his name out there, right? Am I wrong, Jimmy?
Yeah. You know who he is? He's Korskeet's brother. That's
is
who
he?
is.
Wow, okay. Now that makes sense. Now I get it. All right.
They both have really terrible hairlines.
Oh, my God. More fucking rehearsal. I love it. So he's got BJ Penn is one of his.
Yeah.
He's got him on there, as we know about that. A couple of his relatives are on here, a couple of Balassa people. So I assume that. Who else that I know of? Dangerous Steve Ramirez. That sounds like probably not a regular person.
Probably an MMA fighter. Yeah.
Sounds like an MMA fighter of some kind here. Who else do we have here? Mr. KO Fight Gear. Got to connect with them. Get your gear.
Okay, yeah.
Got to have that. Who is this? Oh, T.I. He's
friends with T.I.?
Apparently friends with T.I. and Joe Rogan. Here.
Okay.
So there's that. Those are the people I can.
And he was friends
find.
with them on Facebook, huh?
This is on MySpace.
No,
so I don't know
MySpace, yeah. But MySpace, you could be friends with anybody, and there was no limit, so it was fucking rad.
Yeah, and there was no there was no commitment to anything there.
Right.
You didn't
Yeah.
have to see their shit, basically.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
that's why. Not like, now I got to see this asshole's shit in my feed all the time, which is what we have now. So he's on MySpace. He's failing to be an MMA fighter.
Yeah.
What's he doing in the next 4 to 5 years? Well, by 2014, I know exactly what he's doing. He's still in his hometown in Kern County, California.
Yeah.
And he's working at Home Depot.
Oh boy.
Yeah, which is fine. Home Depot's
good job.
It's a fine job, but if on this show it's not usually, we're not going to have a career earnings thing at the end of it where we're going to go, "Oh, damn, he made $48 million. He should still have something left." He's working, if he's lucky, the paint department, but I doubt it. I don't think they're going to trust him to mix paint.
And that seems like it's probably a partly fucking really difficult job too, because you're lifting most times in the very early morning. You're lifting giant 5-gallon drums over and over and over again.
Yeah, I would think so. What department would you hire him for, based on his qualifications?
I might hire him for the drywall and lumber department for
to haul stuff.
Yeah. Move this to there.
Yep, yeah, that's what I'm going to say. He's a hauler to me. He's just put a bunch of
cinder blocks and lumber. Move it.
Yeah, here you go. That's his job. Move a pile of cinder blocks from one state
here to there.
Home Depot's like a military prison in the 1800s. Is basically move that pile of rocks over to there. That's how Jimmy's got his Home Depot set up. Come down to Jimmy's Home Depot. He's workers walking around sad, singing fucking spirituals and shit.
Yes. Humming, doing a lot of humming.
Nobody knows the trouble I... With cinder blocks in their hands.
A lot of...
Jimmy, arms crossed, nodding. Yep, this is what I had in mind.
This is how we make the donuts.
It's all working here. It's all working out. So he's working there, and a couple of guys come into the store where he works, the Home Depot in whatever it is, Tehachapi. So it is Jose Antonio Fajardo. He is 54 years old, and he comes in with Guy Richard Kukal, Koukal, who's 57. Kukal. He's 57 years old. Okay. They come in together. Apparently that day they needed a bunch of help here with some purchases they were making, and I guess Joaquin followed them around, or they, not like stalking them. Right. He was helping them. They were like, "Hey, he's helping them with a bunch of stuff that that they need for their house." Okay, so apparently spends like 2 hours with them at the store.
Wow,
these two guys, right? So the next day they come back, this couple, and they're a gay couple, Jose and Guy. Okay, so they come back the next day, and one of the things they bought was a barbecue grill, and they said, "Wow, thank you so much for all your help. You really pushed us in the right direction on tons of shit, so thank you for that. And would you at some point, if you want to come over for a barbecue we're going to have with our new grill, party, bunch of friends and shit, you're more than welcome to come because you helped us pick it out. So come on by." So, he said, "Yeah, thanks. That's nice." And everybody got along. Everything was nice. And he didn't end up coming over or anything. And, just whatever. It just kind of went by the wayside.
The option was there.
He doesn't see them again for about 6 months.
Oh.
About 6 months go by here. And now they had exchanged phone numbers, by the way, before when they, that next day they exchanged phone numbers. And I guess periodically Joaquin would get a text from them and they would say, "Hey, we're having a party," or whenever they're having a gathering, they'd send out, he was part of their text circle of, "Hey, you're welcome to come by. We're having a barbecue," or, whatever the fuck the occasion was. And he said, he had told friends about him. "Oh, yeah, these two guys are pretty cool, nice guys," or whatever. "They keep inviting me to hang out, but I got shit to do." And, they're older. He's in his mid-20s. He's not going to hang out with these two old guys. It's just, they're in their mid-50s. It's just not the same circle,
Yeah, and I mean, they're going to be sitting around sipping. He's trying to he's trying to shotgun these beers.
Yeah, he's like shotgunning, like, "Where are the chicks?" And they're like, I don't know.
Have another.
Not to be
cracker.
have a stereotypical, but they're like and we have a lot of women friends. I'm sure we can. They're older. I mean, feel like
they have things they have to do.
Feel like women in their mid 50s, it'd be great. So it's just not the same deal there. So I guess they do that. They're never able to line up plans. And he texts them, but he doesn't ignore them. He goes, "Oh yeah, no, maybe another time," or they're friendly. Yeah. So then finally in August of 2014, August 31st, 2014, Joaquin spends the evening with his new girlfriend. Here. So he's got a girlfriend that he just met, and he's hanging out with her. He's also got a friend, Luis, here, who is one of his roommates. Yeah. And he has 2 roommates. That's how he's living.
Yeah. That's a tough one.
Yep, 2 roommates as a grown man is that tells you your level of how happy you are.
Yeah.
The less roommates, the better. So,
and in New York or in San Francisco, that's commonplace. But in Central California, in your 20s, no roommates.
In Tehachapi, you probably would prefer not to have any roommates at that point. So they're all hanging out, and a little bit before 8 p.m., I guess Joaquin's girlfriend leaves to go home. So I'm going to take off there. So apparently, right after that, he gets a message. Joaquin gets a text message from Jose, one of the guys from Home Depot. And he says, "Hey, me and Guy are going out to dinner. We're going to be in your town. Yeah. We're going out to dinner and stuff. Why don't you stop by and grab a drink with us while we're out, hang out with us?" Yeah. So he said, "Yeah, what the fuck? Why not? Yeah, my girlfriend just left. Yeah, what the fuck? I'll go out, and it's public. We'll go out and hang out, and have some drinks there." So he does. He meets them. It's at the Perico restaurant. Don Perico is the name of the restaurant. It's a Mexican restaurant.
I assumed, yeah.
And meets them there about 8:30, 8:45. He shows up, Joaquin does, and they have a bunch of drinks, and they have dinner, and just basically have a good time. He brings Luis, too.
Great.
You come with me. Yeah, it's just four guys having some drinks and some tacos and some burritos. And
you betcha.
2 guys who want tacos and 2 guys who want burritos, and they're all there together. So that's nice. That's all terrific, isn't it?
What do you want? That was their order.
I was going to say, I think I know what everybody ordered. I think I got that, right? Didn't I get that? So either way, you can't expect no joke at all from that. It's a taco. It's just right there. It's too obvious. We can't.
Extra sour cream in the burritos, please.
Please. Extra. Make that taco juicy. So they eat dinner. They do their things. They hang out. And while they ate dinner, they shared 2 pitchers of margaritas as well.
Oh, God, dear shit.
And then did a couple of rounds of tequila shots as well. The whole group. So 2 pitchers of margaritas with 4 people, and then each of them had 2 tequila shots as well. So that's
we're hammered.
Getting good and tipsy at that point, So they're having fun here. And then in addition to that, Joaquin and Jose, or I guess they're the drinkers of their collective or their respective groups there, they each had an additional shot.
Oh, 3 for them.
So they had 3, him and Jose. And everybody left the restaurant around 10:20 p.m. PM, yeah. So they're there. They hang out, a little over an hour and a half. Sounds like just a good time. Shit, that sounds like fun. You go out, eat some Mexican food, drinking margaritas, shooting tequila. Good times.
Hour and a half, 2 pitchers, and fucking not 10 shots? Jeez.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of booze in a short period of time. It is. It's hard drinking, but that's what you do when you're 26 and you're you've been hitting the head a lot and you work at Home Depot and you have 2 roommates. You go out and you get hammered if you can. I mean, shit. Think about it. When you were that age and had a shit job, what'd you do?
Lots of SoCal and lime shots. That's true.
What it is, man. So anyway, they do all that. They don't leave they leave the interior of the restaurant, but do not leave the restaurant property. They hang out in the parking lot for a while.
What?
Where? I'll give you a guess. What do you think they do in the parking lot?
Smoke weed.
No.
No?
No.
They did MMA?
You're closer with MMA than weed. Yeah. Joaquin and Jose had foot races. They were lining up
drunk?
doing like 40-yard dashes after, the 2 that had the extra tequila too, line up and literally have foot races in the parking lot of, I assume, probably a mostly empty parking lot of a mediocre
Hopefully,
Mexican restaurant in the middle of Tehachapi, California. It can't be that great. So it's not packed.
We're running the length of the property.
Absolutely. And Guy was taking photographs of them on the phone, drinking or, doing foot races together, having a good time, laughing, smiling. Everybody's got big smiles on their faces and they're running and doing all that kind of shit. And they fuck around in the parking lot for a while, like just hanging out. And this is a good old time they're having.
So what a day.
This is getting really good. So then after that, they're like, well, fuck, let's keep this party going. There's a liquor store down the street. Let's go grab some more liquor and and Joaquin's like, we can take it to my house because it's right down the street. We'll go to my apartment. So
2 pitchers, 10 shots. We need more.
They ran it out. I'm sure they sweat out a lot of it in the parking lot. It's August in Central California. They're done. Yeah. You sweat out your tequila and burritos easy. So they stop at a liquor store and get more liquor, and they head to Joaquin's apartment. Okay. All right. His apartment is at the Sierra Vista Apartments on Cherry Lane. Mm-hmm. He lives in Unit 47. So they head on up to Unit 47, and Mario comes over as well.
Now we got another friend.
We got another friend. This is Joaquin's. Joaquin's friend Mario. He arrives at the apartment just about the same time they do. Great. He showed up to see what Luis and Joaquin were doing, and everybody's hanging out, and he like walks into a party basically.
Yeah, it sure does.
They're drunk and doing foot races, walking in with more bottles, and he's like, "Shit, cool. Sounds like a good party."
What a day!
What a day! So they all go in there, and everybody's hanging out. And it's Luis, Mario, it is Joaquin, Guy, and Jose. They're all in there together. Wow. So at that point, the 5 men, they play beer pong for a while.
Really?
So they're drinking more beer. Then they switch to just doing whiskey shots.
Holy.
So hammered would be a good way to put it after a while.
My belly hurts so bad right now.
Mexican food, 2 pitchers of margaritas, at least 3 tequila shots, then drank a bunch of beer after running foot races in the heat, by the way. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
If I eat and drink a bunch, I'm not running in the heat. I will throw the fuck up quick. Yeah. That's the immediate way to make me throw up right there.
And then
booze and running.
Whiskey on top of that.
And then they're going to do whiskey shots. That's just, they're so drunk at that point. You start really pounding it down, and it's a mess. So they're all having a great time, though. Having a good old fucking time. Everybody's laughing, and, it is just the best time ever. There, summer camp is what they're having here. So
it's a great August day.
Yeah. Now, at some point during this evening, Mario, and everybody's pretty hammered, but Mario is the least hammered of everybody because he didn't have the first round of this. He came in after everybody was already shit-faced. He sees Joaquin go into his bedroom with Guy and Jose.
Oh.
They all walk in together laughing and, having a good old time. The bedroom door closes behind them, and then music is turned up very loud in there.
Oh, boy.
So, I don't know. I think everyone probably, you can make your own assumptions what that means. But we've all...
Generally naked time.
We've all turned the TV up louder. You know what I mean? Like... if you're like a younger person and you don't know and you're like, well, my parents will just watch TV really loud sometimes. That's when they're fucking. It's gross, right?
Yeah. That's when ugly things are happening.
But, these are some drunk, happy, consenting adults going to go into a bedroom and close the door and turn the music up and knock yourselves out. Who gives a shit? So we don't know what happened. But anyway, they emerge about 20 minutes later.
Yeah.
But 20 minutes later, they come out, and at that point, Mario tells Joaquin that he's feeling a little uncomfortable in this whole situation. He's going to take off now.
Joaquin needs to go home?
No, not Joaquin. No. Mario said, I'm feeling a little uncomfortable. I'm going to take off now.
I'm going to head out.
Yeah, he tells Joaquin that. He's like, listen, bro, it's been real. Thanks for the whiskey and the beer pong and everything, but it's starting to get a little like Hitler Youth, Lord of the Flies in here. There's shirtless guys, and we're all drinking and getting a little grab-assy, and I'm not sure.
It's literally raining men around here. I got to run.
Yeah, it's turning into a disco song. I'm going to take off now. So, and Mario later on would tell people that he he more preferred partying with both men and women and wasn't interested in drinking heavily with dudes exclusively. I think what he's saying is he didn't want to drink with gay guys who were strangers because he's a young dude who's probably like, I don't know, those dudes were like, they were like gay and stuff. I don't know, man.
I didn't want them to force themselves on me.
Yeah. There's a lot of homophobia with young guys like that because they don't. When you get older, you're just like, I don't fucking care.
Well,
Who
I think
cares?
what it is it's the insecurity of seeing
that's what
it.
it is.
Yeah, that's all it is. And then what if they ask me to join? I don't know. Fucking say no. What are you talking about?
Good. Yeah. Never been around gay people before? Just go, no, thanks. And they go, all right. They're not like, no, give me your cock. They never say that. I've never had that said to me before.
I've never heard of I've been in gay bars. I've never.
Plenty. And
insanely outnumbered. They could have easily pinned me down. And
I've had guys approach me, offer to buy me drinks, and I go, I don't want to waste your time, bro, straight. And they're just like, and they go, that's cool. And they're like, no problem. And that's it. And sometimes you talk to them for 5-10 minutes after that, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know, who cares?
And they give the best compliments. The best.
Oh, who cares? Yeah, you can take it as a compliment. What the hell do you care? Anybody that finds you attractive, take it as a compliment if you're a guy.
Gay guys have said nicer things to me than any woman ever.
Yeah,
ever.
We're all terribly hideous deep down, and I think maybe guys can recognize that and sense that we might need a nice, kind word once in a while.
Best people.
So, anyway, he said that at that point, when he told Joaquin, I don't know, there's no chicks here. Yeah, this is getting weird. By the way, everybody's shirtless at this point too. Yeah. That's another thing, except for Mario. He's the only one who's got a shirt on.
Yeah.
And he said at that point, Joaquin jumped on him shirtless and straddled his waist, jumped on him with like he was riding him. Yeah. Which is also, if you were going to pummel a person, how you would get on top of them as well.
In MMA, for sure.
For pain or pleasure, that's a good position. Either one. So either way, it works.
Is it reverse cowboy or the other way?
If it's reversed, then there's no pain there really. That's an all pleasure position. If you're turning around showing your ass and there's very little physically you can do at that point.
Beat the shit out of my knees.
Yeah, punch my thighs. What are you doing there? Give me Charlie horses.
What's the worst you're going to do? Massage my feet?
Yeah. No shit. And I have access to your asshole, so I can retaliate.
Right.
In any way, shape, or form. You mess with me at all, I'm
going right in.
I'm going in with a 3-finger prong that's going to send you to the moon, buddy. I'll tell you what. Ow! What's up?
Really, it's going to feel like electricity back here.
Yeah. So, anyway, he jumps on. Mario said that Joaquin jumped on him, shirtless, straddling him, and Mario said that also made him uncomfortable. He was like, just the whole vibe was just getting a little too underground leather bar for him, and he needed to get the fuck out of there at that point.
Real
what he
blue
said.
Oyster.
Yeah, a little blue oyster for him. So he said that now Luis is there as well. He lives there though, and he's fine. He doesn't give a fuck, Luis. I think maybe Mario's he's just being a little too. Come on, relax. You know what I mean?
A little too uptight.
Turns out he was absolutely right to leave, but not for that reason.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so Luis he just says that he went to sleep on the sofa because he had to work the next day. So he's like, I don't know, everybody can party and play as much grab ass as they want. I'm going to fucking sleep. I got a shift in the morning. So prior to him falling asleep, though, he said he saw a guy go into the bedroom and fall asleep.
Okay.
So guy went in there, fell asleep. He said at that point, Joaquin and Jose, they seem to be the most energetic. The most energetic.
Together. Yeah.
Yeah. They're racing together. They're doing the extra shot together. Yeah. At this point, 2 of the 4 are going to sleep, and Joaquin and Jose are staying up and playing more beer pong together.
Jesus.
How much beer pong do you have to play? Just drink the beer at that point.
That's my problem with drinking games, I think.
Just drink it.
I'm trying to get hammered. I don't need a reason to drink this.
What do I need? Permission? And then you're going to tell me how much to drink? What's the mindset there? Yeah, I need a group thing. How much should I drink and when should I drink it? I'm good. I'll drink what I want, how much I want, when I want. Fuck off.
Isn't self-loathing a good enough game for you fucking people?
Yeah, we're all playing that game. Let's all play Cry Ourselves to Sleep. You know that one? You ever played that?
Yeah.
Want to play?
Let's play Puke in the Shower Standing Up. I do that one a lot.
Let's play, then try to push it down the drain with my toe. Let's play that part too, because I've done that also.
Let's play Heel Smash. You ever play it?
That's rice. That'll fit down there. That's fine.
Let's play How Many Chicken Chunks Fit.
Yep. So that's what's going on, and so he's his last. His eyes closing. He's seeing beer pong being played. Jesus. Everybody having a good time. At that point, Mario was still there as well. Mario's still on the couch next to him when Jose decides to crash out, or when when Luis decides to crash out. Last thing he remembers is everyone was having a good time.
Okay.
Mario stays until 1 a.m.
Oh.
So he stayed a little longer, even though he felt uncomfortable and was straddled by a shirtless man that he didn't want to be straddled by. Either way.
Sometimes free booze will make you go to some weird shit. Like
that's what I mean. Yeah, it'll make you go to weddings and, funerals. If you're ethnic at all, it'll be a funeral afterwards. They'll be drinking. Don't worry. I don't understand funerals that don't have drinking afterwards. What's wrong with you people?
I don't understand them that don't have it during.
Well, that'll work
this
too.
This is a fucked up day.
Italians do it everything afterwards. It goes... It's the funeral's the most buttoned up thing in the world. Everybody's got to be dressed to the nines. You got to get all the flowers. You take your best car. You do the whole thing, and then as soon as it's over, you go somewhere, and everybody drinks and gambles, and they have their fucking ties off, and there's guys playing dice in the corner, and you're like, "What the fuck happened?" I thought we were trying to think about Grandma. Like Grandma had her fucking due. I'm up 50. Shut the fuck up.
Grandma, I crapped out. Shut the fuck up over there.
Shut up. See, you made me lose, you asshole. So he leaves about 1, and the way he put it, and met up with a former girlfriend. He's like, I gotta,
cleanse all the sausage fest with some.
I need some femininity in here. So he says that when he left, Luis is asleep on the sofa, and Jose and Joaquin had finally stopped playing beer pong, and they were just hanging out talking, bullshitting. So they're the night owls here. So that's the scene that we set. 1 a.m., Mario leaves, Luis is asleep, Guy is asleep in the bedroom, and Jose and Joaquin are having a nice drunken chat.
Okay.
I'm sure about not much that mattered when you're that drunk at 1 a.m. You're just like, when I was a kid, man, I didn't make the Little League team one time. I'm sorry, man. So they that ended up happening. Now, Luis awakens at one point. He's awoken by the sound of a loud argument between Joaquin and Jose.
Oh.
He says that he saw Jose kissing Joaquin on the mouth. Okay? So that's what he sees. He sees him kiss him on the mouth, and then at that point, it got kind of out of control very, very quickly here. Put it this way. All right. Oh, all right. So, Jesus Christ. Luis says at that point he heard Joaquin screaming, "Don't ever try to stick your tongue down my throat."
Oh.
Which is, it's fine. That's a fair reply to something.
Yeah.
It's at that point that Joaquin began punching Jose.
Oh.
He started punching him, and then when he fell down, he started stomping him as well.
Oh, my.
Okay, then he went in and started beating Guy as well.
He didn't even, nothing with the tongue.
No, he was asleep at that. Yeah. He wasn't even in the room, so he had nothing to do there. It's at that point that Luis got the fuck up and ran out of the house and ended up he said he was going to go try to get a cock, basically, in his head. That's what he was doing. But he said he saw him with the first punch in the face. He said Jose was unconscious. He knocked him out.
Wow.
Because he's 30 years older than him and been drinking all night. So, this guy knows how to punch. He's
probably never been in a fight in his life.
Yeah, I don't think he's there for a physical altercation, probably. That's the other thing. So, apparently, once he fell to the ground unconscious, that is when Joaquin got on Jose's stomach and started punching and elbowing him in the face, like MMA style.
Yeah.
Except Jose is
to stop this,
and he's unconscious, so he's not even covering. He's just an unconscious man being pummeled with punches and elbows in the face. an unconscious man in his mid-50s, mind you.
Right.
And I'm not saying that's an old person, but you should probably stop taking major blows to the head once you turn 50, I'm going to say. That can't be good for you.
Yeah, there's a reason they retire long before then.
Yeah, not a lot of boxers are 54 years old for a reason. And they're not fighting 26-year-olds, I hope. So,
exactly.
They shouldn't be anyway, for fuck's sake. So, this is all going on. Now, Luis, before he leaves, he tries to pull Jose. He tries to pull Joaquin off of Jose, but Joaquin told Luis not to touch him, and then went back to pummeling him. Okay, he gets up as well. When he tries to pull him off, Luis tries to pull Joaquin off. Joaquin stands up, says, "Don't fucking touch me," and then continues to punch and kick Jose in the face after that.
Fuck, man.
Okay, he saw, Luis said he saw Jose's head hit the living room wall after being kicked. He basically kicked his head into the living room wall so hard that it left a hole in the drywall.
Wow.
That's
force, man.
That's force. Yeah. If you imagine your head being up against drywall and someone kicking it so hard that it went through the drywall.
Holy.
That's fucking insane. That is horrific.
It stayed together?
Yeah, apparently. It was it was bloody, but his head didn't explode like a grape or anything. It was
no fractures or anything.
I'm sure there was. We'll talk about the injuries here. So Luis said his cell phone was dead, so that's when he left the apartment to go get help. About 3:20 in the morning. By the way, he said at that time he didn't see Guy and he didn't know where Mario went because Mario left after he was already asleep and Guy was asleep in the bedroom. So at 3:20 a.m., Luis approaches a police car at a gas station about a mile. Luis does. Mario went with his ex-girlfriend. Mario went to hang out with a girl. He left already.
Oh, Luis, okay. All right,
Luis tried to pull Joaquin off.
Yeah.
He said,
Luis
"Don't
was
touch
asleep
me."
on the couch. Yep.
Yeah, Luis's phone is dead, so he runs a mile.
A mile
To the gas station where there's a police car there, and he walks up to the police car, and he goes up. He tells this officer, he's like, "Listen, I want to remain anonymous."
Yeah.
Which obviously didn't work because his name is Luis, and here we are. So he's his roommate. So he said, "Listen, I want to remain anonymous, but I got to tell you some shit here." Basically, he said, "I fear for my own safety, number one, and so that's why you can't tell what happened. But there's a fight at my apartment between my roommate and this other guy, and you might want to check it out. Looks pretty bad."
It's been going on since I ran a mile.
It could be worse by now, or everyone could be tired and it could be over. We don't know. They could be playing beer pong again by now, for all I know. But he said, "Listen, this is what happened." He said, I think there's 3 other people in the apartment, and so basically he says, okay, writes down all the shit, writes down the information, and he radios for a second police officer, because if there is a fight involving 3 people, he should probably have more than himself to go break that up. So the 2 officers end up coming to the apartment to basically, there's 2 drunk people. Luis said they've been drinking all night and they're fighting. So they're like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, idiots."
Of course they were. Of course there is. Yeah.
We're going to go over there. The kitchen table will be broken and like 2 dudes will be like, "No, man, we're fine. Nothing happened." That's what's going to happen. That's what they're thinking. So they go over. They said that neighbors had walked up to the cops as they came up and said they heard arguing, and they asked the cops, "Is everything okay?" So, what's up with that? So
a few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
Behind the closed doors of government offices and military compounds, There are hidden stories and buried secrets from the darkest corners of history. From covert experiments pushing the boundaries of science to operations so secretive they were barely whispered about. Each week, on Redacted, Declassified Mysteries, we pull back the curtain on these hidden histories. 100% true and verifiable stories that expose the shadowy underbelly of power. Consider Operation Paperclip, where former Nazi scientists were brought to America after World War II, not as prisoners, but as assets to advance U.S. intelligence during the Cold War. These aren't just old conspiracy theories. They're thoroughly investigated accounts that reveal the uncomfortable truths still shaping our world today. The stories are real. The secrets are shocking. Follow Redacted, Declassified Mysteries on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Redacted early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
Anyway, they knock on the door. He answers the door. Joaquin answers the door in his boxer shorts. How's it going, officers? They go, well, we've heard reports of neighbors saying there's arguing. Yeah. Other people said they heard banging around and arguing and things like that. We're just checking to see if everything's okay. Joaquin tells them, hold on, and he closes the door. Okay, hold on, and closes the door and locks the deadbolt.
Stay right here.
Now, one of the officers notices a spot of blood on the outside of the door.
Oh.
Says, that looks like fresh blood right there on the outside of the door. So after about 6-7 minutes go by with no Joaquin coming back to them, they knock on the door again. Hey, buddy, come back. He answers the door a second time.
Hello?
Like, yeah, oh, you guys again.
Yeah.
You said you'd be back. Then he says, all right, hold on, I got to get dressed. Slams the door and locks it again in their faces. I thought that's what you were doing the first time. Where the fuck have you been? So he says, hold on, I got
finishing a show.
Yeah, no, hold on a minute. I got a chicken in the oven. I got to take it out. So as he shuts the door, one of the officers told the other that next time, or he said, when the door was open, I saw broken glass on the ground in there when 2 seconds that I looked in there, and what appeared to be blood in the entryway. I think I saw blood on the floor and on the wall there. So she says, somebody could be hurt in there or some shit like that. So we can probably get in here based on the fact that someone could be in danger.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just saw blood and we've heard there's a fight. So, we can probably get in there and it's legal. So what they do is they go find the apartment manager. He must have been thrilled at 4:30 in the morning to get awoken by police officers to say, we saw blood all over one of your apartments that you're going to have to clean soon. Can we go in there?
Open it?
Can you open it for us? Fuck. So the officer, they get the key, and then 2 officers and a sheriff's deputy who had now showed up. They all get to the apartment again, and they enter the apartment. The way they describe it is, quote, very, very bloody.
Oh, boy.
The whole scene's bloody. They see Jose on the floor in the living room, and they can tell, they said he was obviously deceased, was the way they put it.
What does that mean?
When you can see somebody who hasn't been dead for that long, because we knew he was alive an hour ago.
Right.
So when you see somebody who hasn't been dead that long and they're obviously deceased, that means there is some major fucking trauma on them that you can notice. Because
this is bad.
Yeah, they said that we don't even need to check the pulse. That motherfucker's dead is a lot. So they find that. Then they go through the apartment, obviously. From there, they're like, well, let's see what else is in this apartment because we heard there's more people here. So as they go into the apartment, they find as they describe, large amounts of blood, not only on the floor, but also splattered all over the walls.
Wow.
The furniture and even the ceiling.
What happened?
It looks like somebody went through this place with a chainsaw, like in Scarface.
Holy shit.
It's fucking gross. And that's the best. That was how they described it in the report officially. They said all that, and the conclusion, gross. That was it. So they get through the apartment, and as they're walking down to the bedroom at the end where they assume Joaquin might be, they look into the bathroom off to their right, and they find Guy in the bathroom. And Guy is also dead in the bathtub.
What?
He's dead in the bathtub. They said both of them had visibly swollen faces. Not swollen from being dead for a long time, swollen from being beaten.
From pummels,
Yeah. So at that point, they've seen now 2 dead people, and they're still looking for the person they assume is the killer. So they're on high alert, as you might imagine. So they're like, fuck, all right, well, there's only room left is the master bedroom here at the end. And they're ready they think he's probably in there with a fucking shotgun or something.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a psychopath, obviously. So they come in and they're like, all right, let's do it. Tension building. Pow, they open the door and he's on the bed, sleeping.
What?
Out, sleeping. Yeah. They're like,
I'll be
hey.
right back. I'm going to put some pants on. And he went to bed?
Hey, buddy. They're shaking him.
Yeah.
He's acting like he won't wake up. He's pretending to be asleep.
Yeah.
They're shaking him, and he's just acting like, what is he thinking? I don't care how drunk you are. They found 2 dead people. Do they think they'll go, we'll come back later? He's sleeping. Well, he's sleeping. We'll come back.
Let's stick a note on the fridge.
We'll tell him. Tell the crime scene unit to be quiet. Tell them to be quiet.
Don't even call them yet.
What does he think?
There's a note on the fridge to call us.
They'll still be dead when we get here. They'll still be dead when we get here later. It's fine.
What the fuck is he doing?
What's he thinking? That's not the not I'll jump out the bedroom window.
Right.
I'll just lay down and pretend to be asleep. So that's what they do. They find him pretending to be asleep. They handcuff him. They escort him out of the apartment. He's going, I was sleeping. What happened? What's going on? I was sleeping. I don't know what are you doing? Why am I in handcuffs? I don't understand. I was sleeping. That's what he keeps saying, acting like he's
2 dead bodies in my house. I don't know.
Just pulled out of a REM sleep. Just what? I don't even. I was dreaming. I was water skiing. I don't know.
We just saw you 3 minutes ago at the door, man.
Twice. You idiot. Remember us?
Yeah.
So they walk him out. He's saying all of that shit. What's going on? I don't know what's going on. So he's other than asking what's going on and pretending to be confused about why he's in handcuffs, he doesn't resist at all on the way to the car. So he's escorted to the car. But then they said, all right, we're going to get you in the car. That's when he fucking freaks out.
Really?
Yeah, doesn't want to be.
What do you think? We were going downstairs to chat?
It doesn't want to be in the car. Yeah, he's gonna run behind the car. That's what he thought. So they're gonna get to the police station.
We're gonna walk to the station together.
So they stuff him into the car finally, and he immediately slips his arms from behind his back to the front. He does that move. Then he starts trying to kick out the windows with his bare feet like a fucking idiot. And he tells the officers as he's kicking the window, he's going to kill them. I'm going to kill all of you, especially you, Chuck Liddell. He calls one of the cops Chuck Liddell repeatedly. If you don't know, Chuck Liddell is an MMA fighter.
He's the Iceman.
At that time was a pretty prominent MMA fighter.
Big deal, yeah.
Well known anyway. Yeah. He's one of those guys that has a lot of people like, he's overrated. I don't know if that's true or not. I just see that a lot.
That's insane. He was amazing. And even more so because he was the fattest, like the most paunchy, out of shape looking fuck ever. And
I know. I remember.
Killed people. Like he was amazing.
He was. So anyway, he keeps repeatedly calling the one Chuck Liddell and threatening his life. I'll kill you, Chuck Liddell. I'll fucking kill you, Chuck Liddell.
Did the guy have a mohawk or something, or did he just have a belly?
No. That's the other thing. He bears no resemblance to Chuck Liddell. He just kept calling him Chuck Liddell and repeatedly telling him he was going to kill him.
Okay.
So I like, by the way, in the police report, it says this. This is a wonderful quote. Quote, after he was pepper sprayed, he calmed down.
That'll
do it. That'll do it. When you're pepper sprayed in an enclosed space, she'll calm down pretty quickly. That's how it works.
There's no escape from all this burning.
Nope. So he calms down, but on the way to the station, he again slips his hands out from under him and from behind him and begins, acting a fucking fool in the back and trying to break wind. Once you're in the car, you're caught. Anything you do, you're just injuring yourself. The cars are made for you to do that. They're made. They're tough. You're
upping the ante and possibly charges too with destruction of public or of police property.
Yeah, even if you think you've done nothing wrong, kicking out the police windows they're not going to go, oh, well, he did kick out the window. He's probably telling the truth. Let's let him go. That's not going to happen.
That is a dead indicator of an innocent man.
I get your thought behind it. I understand your anger, but if you're going for results, that's not the way to do it. So they talked to some of the neighbors, by the way, because the press descended on this like a motherfucker. Two bloody bodies pulled out of an apartment, and this guy in his underwear trying to kick windows out.
That's
oh
a
boy!
story that writes itself.
Oh, Tehachapi is going batshit for that, and it's a Tehachapi's native, fifth place high school wrestler. Come on, man! Who could resist that story?
You better get your scoop.
Jesus, Woodward and Bernstein were there. It was fucking... it was crazy. So one of the neighbors, a woman named Linda, she said it's petrifying. It's scary. Well, unless you're in there drinking with them, it's probably not that scary.
Petrifying.
Petrifying is what she said. She said she's lived here for years and never seen any trouble before. She said she doesn't know Joaquin, never met him. She said, but there's a bunch of people I don't know because it's an apartment complex.
Yeah,
so...
right.
She said, quote, a lot of gentlemen that live in this complex like that, they work on the windmills. They're here for a short period of time and they're gone.
Oh, they're doing that.
There must be wind farms up there.
Yeah.
So apparently this is like a transient windmill employee area. Kind of
or
like
it's how they get their water.
That could be it too. Yeah, they also wear wooden shoes there. So there's this is actually a Dutch. It's a Dutch annex in Northern California. We're all Dutch here. It's just windmills and clogs as far as the eye can see. So yeah, she said that they're there for a short time and they're gone. Now, obviously, he's not one of those people. He works at Home Depot, but I would imagine that if it's like kind of transient housing, it's probably low priced.
Probably.
I bet it's a place that's low priced and probably furnished. I would imagine as well. A lot
it
of
might be. Yeah.
Probably furnished because these guys you're not going to bring furniture to come work for a place for a month, but you need a couch. So I guarantee you it's a furnished joint.
As a kid, I thought that was the greatest thing driving down 32nd Street near the I-10.
God.
You know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly where you're
they
going.
would say $6.95 a month furnished. And I was like, that sounds amazing.
That's amazing. So many people have jizzed on my couch. Cool. Hundreds of strangers has jizzed on my couch. Now I'm going to take a nap on it on a Saturday afternoon.
So convenient. As an adult, I'm like, ew.
Oh, God, no. Kids, don't touch the furniture. Don't sit down. Just don't. It's not as a kid, though. Yeah, you're like, you just move in with your suitcase.
You just walk in with your clothes and it's easy. It's done.
It's all set up for you already. Yeah, because as a kid, nothing was more boring than shopping for a kitchen table or something. That would be the...
Any furniture store or home product of any kind was a nightmare.
Fucking torture. Absolute torture.
Appliances.
Okay, let's go look for appliances. Great. Wonderful.
This is not for me.
My mother and her boyfriend back in the day, at one point, we went out to go to the store to look for, quote, wall hangings. I was like 8. I'm like, I don't need anything on the walls. This can't just put up a Lamborghini poster and we're finished. What are we talking about? Come on.
Mom, let's go to Walmart and pick up some fucking Michael Jordan posters. We'll be fine.
Hulkamania in that corner, it's perfect. No worries. Everybody, Bo Jackson, let's do it.
Can we get that Ken Griffey with the bat over his shoulders? That was Bo, too.
Cool. That was Bo with the shoulder pads.
That's
in the back.
right, yeah.
That was badass. That was like an 89 score, I think, or something. Maybe not. It was 89, I think. Yeah. So anyway, one of the neighbors, a guy named Jason Perez, says he didn't hear anything or see anything. He says, I don't know what was going on until I woke up this morning when I found out and heard about it. Why would you quote that person in the paper?
Those are two sentences that mean the exact same thing.
And they're completely useless to your news reporting. You went to the complex to interview people. They said, give us 1,000 words on, reaction. Yeah. I need 1,000-word reaction from the neighbors. And they're like, well, fuck, all I have is this. They're like, well, the one guy said, I don't know what happened until I woke up and then I heard about it. So I guess we'll put that in. Yeah, found out about it, and that's when I heard about it. Well, let me... What, you said you found out and heard about? Okay, good. Let me make sure I write that down.
What about when you became aware of it? Should we put that in too?
I want to have I know I have the tape recorder going, but I want to have a backup is what it is. Just in case something happens, digital things, I want to make sure I have a physical backup of what you said. It's very
became aware, found out.
Very important to the news. Now
you were informed.
Now you're informed.
Yeah.
So let's get to some not so funny stuff here. Now the coroner. The coroner said, this is a fucking horrible guy, the one who was asleep.
Yeah.
He said that The coroner said that Guy suffered approximately 20 to 30 blows to his left side and chest, and a minimum of 7 to 10 blows to the face, including one fracture so severe the bone caved in.
That's the elbow, right?
Oh, my God. Yeah, I'm sure it is, or it has to be. Otherwise, he'd have fucking probably broke his hand, too, you know? Elbows are vicious weapons. And they said also hit him so hard there was unusual bruising to his lips consistent with smothering.
My God.
As well, so there's some suffocation mixed in here. Now, Jose, he suffered a minimum of 7 to 10 blows to his face, resulting in fractured bones. And then Joaquin kicked Jose in the head so hard that his head obviously went into the drywall, which caused more damage in the back of his head. They said Jose had severe bleeding near his brain stem and a neck compression injury. Either one of those could have caused his death.
Wow.
He broke his neck compression-wise like you would if somebody fucking hit a tree and then shot out the windshield and bashed into it with their head. That's the kind of injury he had.
And caused a brain bleed that would brain
stroke stem.
You out, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and but the neck compression could have caused death. That means his neck was broken so badly it could have caused death. That's unreal, man. That's like those are like plane crash injuries.
Yeah.
That's fucking horrific. So they pull Joaquin in and they go, what the fuck, bro? Like, we come in, your house is bloody.
Yeah.
You're
these people
are dead,
clobbered,
and you're pretending you're sleeping. So like, what's the fucking deal, bro? And he said, I don't know, man. I don't know those guys. I have no idea who they are or how they died.
That's a terrible story, Joaquin.
I don't even know them. They went out for an hour and a half together at a restaurant. Right. So like the waiter knows you knows them.
Met up with them.
Yeah. How many people? Think about what a bad story this is. Just a terrible fucking story.
How drunk did you get that it erased the last 8 months of your brain?
Yeah, fucking gone. What about the whole night? And who is he not thinking like, oh, Mario went to dinner with us. What about him? You know what I mean? He's been there. Luis was at the house. He knows they're there.
Luis went to dinner with us. Mario just showed up.
Oh, yeah. He showed up later. Sorry, Luis went to dinner. So either way, he gives a statement. A detective asked him, there's been some things said. They're trying to like give him the out. This is the out here. We've talked about it in all sorts of murder interrogations. Murder interrogators always say the same thing. They say, picture a tiny window in the upper corner of the room.
Yeah.
That window looks really hard to get through for this person. You have to make that window kind of seem like it's attainable for them. Yeah. And they give them that out of why they did it. And it's like, even if you beat your kid to death, they'll be like, I mean, I've hit my kid before. Yeah. Jesus Christ. This one must have just been at a weak skull or something. This is ridiculous, right? Like, they'll say anything to get you to say, yeah, I did it. So
this kid's clearly defective.
Exactly. Your kid he had a fucking eggshell skull. What are you going to do about that? Eggshell. It's not your fault. So the detective said, quote, there's been some things being said that maybe there was some gay stuff that tried to go on. Some gay stuff that tried to go on.
Some gay stuff materialized and just tried to happen.
It was its own being, and it had its own agency to do things.
And it wanted to be at the party, too.
Well, I mean, if there's going to be a party, gay stuff's going to show up. There's booze and stuff. Gay stuff's going to, if you put music on, it's coming.
Gay stuff loves parties.
Gay stuff loves parties, yeah. That's the thing. And a lot of times, too, the problem is straight guys will invite gay stuff into their parties
sometimes
voluntarily, especially if there's a lot of booze involved. Yeah. That's happened to people before, and then afterwards they are like, "Hey, who invited gay stuff to the party? Throw gay stuff out! No, get him out of here, man! Now gay stuff shouldn't be here."
I kind of liked that. That was weird.
Yeah, especially I don't know, super guys who love to roll around with other guys in their underwear and punch them and be like, why am I so attracted to you when I grind on you? Why? Not that all the guys are like that, but a guy like this particular person is what I'm getting
gay
at.
Stuff showed up and I like that it's here.
There you go. He said, maybe someone tried to wake you up in the middle of the night with some gay stuff. That's a quote from a homicide detective.
Officer.
Maybe so. Look at how eloquent this man is. there's been some things being said that maybe there was some gay stuff that tried to go on. Maybe someone tried to wake you up in the middle of the night with some gay stuff.
Oh my God. How do you not laugh saying that?
Fuck my God.
I realize he's got to be professional and try to relate to this guy, but how do you say those words and not just giggle your fucking ass off?
Because it makes
you have to phrase it like this.
It's so ridiculous. It's just
so dumb.
He said, "We don't know. That's why we want to talk to you."
Yeah,
so, you know,
we get it. You're a man. You're a macho man.
Yeah, this is the equivalent of a guy killed another guy, and they go, "Well, he came at you, right? I get it. He came at you. What were you going to do? You had to kill him." So it's one of those. Like, I get it. You're sleeping. Two guys try to attack you. Of course, you're gonna. You know, they're gonna try to pull a bunch of gay stuff on you. You know, you might start trying to defend yourself. They're just trying to get him to say, "Yes, I hit a guy," and that's what it is. That's where they want him to go. So he says, no, not even a little bit. He said, "I don't know who those people are in my apartment." He goes, "The only people I know that would be there would be Luis or maybe Mario, but nobody else." They said, "Well, where were you that night then? You didn't, what'd you do?" Yeah. And he said, "I went out to dinner with my girlfriend that night. Went out to dinner with my girlfriend. I came home after dinner. She went home, and I went to sleep early, get a good early to bed, early to rise. You know how it is.
Early bird gets a worm."
I'm looking for that worm, son. So, I'm there. I got to get up. I got to do my road work, obviously. I got another MMA fight. I haven't had one in about 5 years, but I think I'm going to get back into the mix. He said that he went to bed, and when he got home, he, like I said, passed out to get a nice early night's sleep. Yeah. And he said, "I woke up to the police shaking me going, 'Hey, buddy, knocking on my door.' I don't know shit." That's it.
He walked through a bloodbath to answer the door.
Twice.
Oblivious.
Twice.
Okay.
Yeah. He would have blood all over his feet as he walked through. Like, you wouldn't notice that, why are my sheets bloody? Like, none of that shit.
Why is my carpet squishing beneath my toes?
Super weird. Hey, who's that dead guy in the living room? That's the first one I'd wonder.
Yeah.
Hey, that corpse wasn't there when I went to bed, was it? I don't remember that. I'm going to call Lisa and ask her if she remembers a corpse being in my living room when she was here last night, because that is super weird. I don't know.
That's a bit too much.
I wonder if one of the neighbors is just storing it here for a minute. I better ask. This is a lot. So, yeah, he said he woke up to the police, quote, banging on his door. That was that. So first he says he wants an attorney. And then they were like, "Well, I mean, we're just trying to say we went into your house and there's two corpses there. I mean, you're welcome to not answer any questions, but you might want to clear up, if it's an easy clear up, I would clear it up now." Because
innocent guys rarely need attorneys to sort this out, unless you're afraid of being framed. You don't know.
I mean, that's what I mean. So maybe you might want to do that. So he said, "All right, fine." And he was very foul-mouthed during the interview. They said he moaned often too. He kept going, doing shit like that. And he would chuckle a lot too. And he just kept saying, like, "I didn't do anything wrong, man. I don't understand it." He was doing that a lot. I just don't get it. I went to sleep. I wake up. There's banging on my door. Next thing you know, I don't understand. Even if that was true, there are two corpses in your house. Does that not concern you? Of what the fuck? Who killed two people while I slept? I would be like, this is fucking crazy. Are you kidding me?
And
he was just like... So strange. At one point, he just goes, he sits there for a minute, shrugs his shoulders, puts his hands up, like people do, and he goes, "What a fucking nightmare. I go to bed." What a fucking nightmare. He says, "I go to bed and this is what I wake up to." Like a dad who fucking woke up and his kids had gotten up at 6 a.m. and tried to make themselves breakfast, and now there's eggs all over the fucking frozen onto the countertop. And I go to bed and this is what I wake up to. No, this is corpses in your house.
Yeah. There's a waffle iron with the eggs and waffle mix in the waffle iron. God damn it.
They tried to watch a grilled cheese in the VCR like on Mr. Mom or something from 1984. What happened here? Oh, no.
You got to mix it before you put it in there. You don't just put eggs and waffle mix in it.
What a mess. I go to bed and this is what I wake up to? fair enough in that particular case, I would say.
This context, a beaten dead man in your bathtub and one on the floor.
A deuce in your house.
What a nightmare.
Yeah. What a fucking nightmare. What a fucking nightmare.
Try to get 8 hours of winks.
And he was trying to be like, you know what I mean, guys? You know what I mean when that happens? And they're just like, is this guy fucking for real?
You can relate.
Yeah. At this point, too, he doesn't know they have a witness that they doesn't know Luis said is the one who got the cops. And Luis said, hey, I saw him kicking his head through the drywall. He doesn't know that. So he's acting like, weird.
Another point is dinner with your girlfriend in 2014 is mad corroborative.
Yeah, oh, God, there's video of you from everything, every Ring doorbell you pass, every goddamn outside of the restaurant, the inside of the restaurant.
We can figure that out lickety-split, my man.
Not to mention, did she check in on fucking Instagram and Facebook of where they were? Is there pictures of her fucking food on there? Because if there isn't, she wasn't there. I'll tell you something. There's no picture of her food. I guarantee you, she wasn't with you.
Yeah.
Chief, and probably pictures of your food, too.
Yeah.
Either
with you hovering above it trying to just eat.
Yeah. Or posing with it. So either way, this is this 15-minute weird recording of him just being like, Jesus, what a ridiculous. Like he got a flat tire just like that. What a pound. I'm late, too, on top of everything, you know? Jesus Christ. Very inconvenient. He's acting very inconvenienced by the whole affair.
What else could go wrong?
He said, I don't know. I just went out. Like I said, I ate dinner, had some drinks, and then I returned home. I went to bed, because I have to work early the next morning. Mm-hmm. He said, my two friends, he calls them Mario and Luigi. Oh. Poor Luis gets to be Luigi because one's Mario. So he goes, Mario and Luigi were here when I went to sleep. Mm-hmm. So maybe one of them did it. That, you know what? Those guys are assholes.
Trying to do?
He said, he said they were there. He goes, they were over. I can't say anything. I don't even know who these two guys are. So I don't know who they had over and killed. He said, I woke up the next morning, police pounding on my door. He said, I must have been half asleep because I don't even remember closing the door on you guys.
Unbelievable.
That's how deep asleep I was. I don't remember twice saying, hold on a minute, and then closing the door and walking through more now cold blood on the floor. Don't remember that. Super weird. He says he doesn't do that, nor, he said, did he notice the dead body or the large amounts of blood pooled all over the living room and spread all over his walls and ceiling. He was so sleepy.
Yeah.
Well, he was sleepy, Jimmy. There is that. So,
I mean, when I'm asleep, boy, am I asleep.
Not a good story. Then he says this. He says, you know what, though? The more I think about it, he goes, I don't remember anything, obviously. I don't know who those guys are. That is one thing. Never met them before in my life.
That's for sure.
That's for damn sure. He goes, but on top of that, no, don't go through my cell phone, please. Don't do that.
Don't you dare.
Don't look at my text messages where I fucking accepted a dinner invitation from the dead people. But I don't know who they are, but I do know that, like I said, Mario and Luis were there. And he said, now that I think about it, he goes, there was some other people there when I went to sleep, too. I didn't really pay much attention to them because they weren't my friends, and I never saw them before. But, maybe once before they'd been over. I don't know who they are. He goes, but you know what the funny thing? He goes, Mario was acting weird that night. Yeah. So Mario was really acting weird. And they go, really? Well, what kind of weird? They're going to feed into this. Go ahead, tell us bullshit. Wow, what's he doing that's so weird, Joaquin? And he goes, yeah, man, he's acting weird. Then he goes, takes a pause, and he goes, I always think Mario's working undercover, if you know what I mean.
What?
I've always been suspicious.
Closeted gay guy.
Yeah, I've always been suspicious that, you know what, I think now it's, I don't know if that is, I don't know those guys, so I don't know if they're gay or not, but I think maybe that's what's going on. Maybe it was a lover's spat with a three-way thing going on because Mario did tell me that, that's a thing. So
perhaps Mario brought him to my house because he's got a girlfriend. He didn't want her to find out.
Totally. And then he was
going to my house. Try to plow get some dudes over here.
Jizz Skeet came, got some in his eye, and he was like, "Oh shit, I'm going to beat these guys to death." Beat them to death, and then he took off. And then I wake up, boom, 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 knocking on the door, and poof, what do you know? Corpse is in my house.
Clearly.
All right. Well, I'll be going now.
I need to get back to sleep.
I got a shift at about 8 at Home Depot, so I'm going to get going now.
You ever heard, you can do it, we can help? I got to go help.
I got to be the one. I have to be there if that's going to be true, basically. I don't want to make Home Depot a liar. I don't want to make Homer a liar.
I don't want to make liars out of them.
I'm not going to make liars out of them. They're there to do it. I've got to be there to help. That's the way this whole thing works.
They got to make money. Tony Stewart's got a race this weekend.
They got to pay him a shitload, so... Yeah, I know he killed a guy. That doesn't matter. I understand. They don't mind. They don't mind at Home Depot. That's fine with them, they said. So he's always felt that Mario was working, quote, working undercover.
Hilarious.
Which is closet gay, he's trying to say here. He said, I don't know anybody. He said, you know what? When I walk through the living room, like, how can you not notice a corpse on your floor? Yeah. Especially a stranger's corpse. If it's like a guy that sleeps over all the time and you know that guy, that'd be one thing. But this is a stranger and he's on your floor, And he said, you know what? I wouldn't have noticed if someone was on the floor. Quote, people are on my floor all the time.
Wow.
Are they dead? What? Are they covered in blood? That's a new one, right?
Yeah.
How many dead people are on your floor? So, yeah, they end up arresting him, and they take him into jail or holding him anyway. On you have dead people in your house. That's a general hold, I think, right?
Suspicion
unexplained
of murder?
corpses.
Yeah.
Unexplained corpses in your house, probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
At least improper disposal of a human remains, I think. So, anyway, he ends up talking to the media later on that day.
What?
They show up and he talks to them. Yeah, they show up to jail with the cameras and I guess at his arraignment possibly or something. And he denied any involvement with the crimes to the press. He said, I didn't do anything. I was hanging out with my friends. I woke up to the police banging on my door. He goes, I do want to send out my thoughts and prayers to the victims' families, though, because,
big shouts
terrible.
To the fam.
Big shout outs, thoughts and prayers, because, it's very, very sad what happened to. I don't know them, so I can't feel anything really inside, but they did die in my apartment, so thoughts and prayers. That's what he said.
Gotta assume they got families.
Yeah, they must have. Someone must be related to these fucking people. So that's what he said. He said, again, they asked him, you don't know what happened? And he said, quote, I went to sleep, everyone was fine. And then he said he's in shock. And he didn't know what happened. And then he said, it's all too crazy. It's like a nightmare. It's like a nightmare. I don't get it.
I would say it's more than that.
A little more than a fucking nightmare, because at least you can wake up from a nightmare. This one,
your life's over if we can figure anything out.
So at the arraignment, his attorney requests the court, why don't we just stop with all this he killed people stuff? This is all getting way too finger pointy. You know what I mean? Let's go ahead and dismiss that second count of first-degree murder because he said there's no indication that Joaquin was near the second victim who was found in the bathroom. So
there was a wall separating him.
Yeah, obviously he was. We get it. It's in the prosecution that we have a witness that saw you beating on Jose, but even if you think he killed Jose, that doesn't mean he killed the other one. He killed Jose, went to sleep. Someone else came in and did the exact same murder in the exact same way to the other guy, and then left him there. What a fucking nightmare! Can you believe it?
I go to sleep with one corpse. You wake up to two?
What the hell? They're multiplying. Oh, my God. It's like having gerbils. There's more gerbils. I don't understand it. And that was not a gay joke to mention gerbils either. That was just...
He molted a second corpse?
I had gerbils when I was a kid, and they reproduced like crazy. Yeah.
Did you wake up to? I had hamsters that did the same thing. Woke up, and I had no idea because I'm a fucking 12-year-old, and I woke up and there's just all these pink things 9. In the cage. I'm like, what the fuck?
Did they shit those? What happened?
And then my mom was mad because she was like, I thought we got 2 males.
Yeah. So
I don't think so, Mom.
I gave like 21 of them to a pet shop.
Yeah.
Here you go. They took them.
Well, yeah, because they're about to make at least $12 a piece off that.
Yeah, what the hell? So, yeah, he said, what a crazy thing to say.
It's ridiculous story.
How could a lawyer stand up and say, I get the one, but the other one, dismiss that because he wasn't even in the same room with them? They're in an apartment. What are you talking about?
I think of all the people on earth that I feel bad for, James, I think defense attorneys are beginning to be my number one that I feel worst for.
Because sometimes they have crazy shit they have to do. And it's important that people go, oh, goddamn defense attorneys. But if you're accused of something, you want a fucking defense attorney.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Entitled to it.
For that time when someone's innocent, all the rest of the time you got to just as vigorously defend shitty guilty people. So you got to go, what now? Hold on a minute. Okay, two people, you're asleep, covered in blood, witness saw you. Okay, how can we? Well, the one, you weren't even in the room with that guy. Okay, we can. It's just one now. Now we can work with that.
What do you say we take our chances, whittling it down to one and defending that one? How about that?
Yeah. What do you say you started the beating on the other guy, then you went to sleep, then the second dead guy killed that guy, then your friend killed the second dead guy. Boom, done. You're clean out of it.
We're going to find a story that fits.
In and out. Where's Mario? It's his fault. So he then said that also you really should dismiss both charges because there's no hard evidence that he could have beaten anybody with his bare hands because, quote, when officers could not find a speck of blood on his hands.
Well, I mean, I'm sure he showered.
He couldn't have washed, obviously. Right. That's impossible. Impossible to wash. No, who washes? That's crazy.
I mean, where would you do that? In the bath, where another dead body is. So,
oh my God, impossible. It's impossible.
Occupied.
Never mind. Occupado. Never mind. She'd be covered in blood. You go, oh, never mind. So the judge goes, get the fuck out of here. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Shut up.
I'm so sorry that this is your job, but you're going to have to do your job better because this is awful.
Wow. Yes, that was creative, but no, that's probably what he said. Nice try. Because judges are lawyers. They're all lawyers.
Yeah.
They must go, I would have never thought of that, actually. That's pretty creative. Nice try. I mean, it's terrible and obviously legally unsound and fuck off and, bang, bang, but...
You took
nice
a solid
try.
swing at it. I will give you that. That was
say,
a hell of a rip.
a creative attempt at a defense of your client. Not bad. So during the trial is 2 men and 10 women as the jury, by the way.
Okay.
So that's a interesting breakdown. I don't know who. It seems like the prosecution was like, I think we'll do better with women, and the defense was like, I think we'll do better with women. That's what I think it is, like both sides, which happens sometimes. Both sides think that one particular person will like them.
Well, I got news for you. You have a bunch of women on a stand or on a jury, and 2 gay guys are dead. It's over for you.
And they've been beaten severely.
It's over for you.
And you're going to say it's because judging, you assume they're going to say it's because they came on to you. And women are like, I should have beaten 400 men to death by now. You know how many men I should have beaten to death?
By that logic, you're an idiot.
By that logic, every woman would have 600-700 corpses under their belts. Hot ones would have thousands of men. Yeah. Thousands of corpses under their belts. They'd be like Stalin or Idi Amin or something. They'd be fucking...
Body count would never relate to how many you fucked, ever. It would only be the ones that deservedly and justifiably have been beaten to death and drugged behind the back of their fucking Subarus.
That's it. No, hot chicks would have, they'd need death camps to keep everybody because there'd be thousands of, every day there'd be dozens of people. Every time you go to the grocery store, that guy said this, he said that, ogling, oh, forget about it. You go to a bar,
oh boy.
That's a dozen guys a night you're going to have
That's a slaughter fest.
Fuck me, man. So now the prosecution says that obviously they have to say that before he invoked his Miranda rights, he denied any knowledge or involvement in the crime. So they were taking that as his statement because that was before he invoked his rights. Yep. And they're saying that his claim at this point at trial is self-defense. That's what they're claiming.
Wow.
He's going to testify in everything, saying it's pure self-defense. And the prosecutor says this obviously contradicts his prior statement, which said that he didn't even know him. Right. He doesn't even know him. And they said in the opening, the detective specifically asked him, remember that terribly ineloquent statement about, was there some gay stuff maybe? Was there a little bit of gay stuff? They touch your butthole or what, buddy? Buddy, was it your butthole? Is that what they touched? So he said, there was that. He goes, it's completely contradictory to say self-defense after the guy asked him if was it self-defense. And he said, I don't even know these people. What a nightmare. I wake up to this shit. The luck I have, type of shit. So he said that, he must have been lying at some point. Why would you believe him now if he says that before? He said it's completely two starkly contrasting versions of events that cannot be reconciled significantly. And they said that should damage his credibility. It's going to undermine his claim that he's being victimized and that he feared further attack and that he acted in self-defense. Because neither of these guys have ever fought professional fights, and they're both in their mid-50s. I must say that again. Unless you're like there are tough guys in their mid-50s, don't get me wrong. Yeah. I don't think these two are those guys, though. They might be.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like they're probably a formidable physical threat to a 26-year-old former MMA fighter. I just don't see that as probably an equal matchup.
Yeah. It's a pretty good assumption being that I've maybe seen two mid-50s gay guys who looked like they were in good enough shape to fight.
Oh, no, they might be in great shape. I'm sure they're in great shape. Yeah. But they could be fat, they could be skinny or muscle. It doesn't matter, just like anybody else. That's not the point I'm trying to make. I just
mean well enough built to fight a guy who's actually fought.
Yeah, I think that goes for like any mid-50s. You could have taken gay out of that equation. I've seen some big, fat, thick 50s guys that look tough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They look tough because they're big and fat, but they're also, older. And if you hit them in the face, they'll probably fall down,
They'll probably shrink a little bit.
Yeah, it's just there's a lot of our listeners like, hey, assholes, we get it. Well, do you want to be punched in the face, 55-year-old listener?
No.
That's our point. No. You're going to go, Jesus Christ, then I'm going to have to go to the neurologist and get that checked out. That's what you're thinking at your age, because that's what you should be thinking, because that's normal.
Yeah. Well, I'm 41, and if I got punched in the face,
now.
I would think, now I need a rectal cam to make sure that didn't give me cancer.
Yeah, anything could happen with that shit. Jesus Christ. So they said that, all that garbage, self-defense and everything like that. The judge rules that the prosecutor is entitled to use his prior inconsistent statements against him, including his failure to mention any need for self-defense to the detectives when he made his initial statement. They can use all that to impeach his credibility of self-defense. Therefore, it makes him look worse. It's just you can impeach him right away with the jury immediately. So at that point, his credibility is badly damaged. So then he kind of has to testify. It's kind of backing him into a corner where he's got to testify and be believed by the jury, period. So, the defense attorney, when he's doing his opening there, his whole thing is that he says that, well, we'll get into this. He says that yes. He also says that Jose threw the first punch as well, which that's unlikely.
Yeah.
So
he was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this white Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
His case is that, yeah, he was an MMA fighter. He was decent at it, but they were like, he wasn't any good at it, which we can attest to that. That's true.
I know that to be true. Yeah.
He said, though, he did keep in shape and retain the techniques he learned, but he stopped MMA fighting, in 2010. He said now his defense is that he did kill Guy and Jose. What? He killed them. Now it's true. He did. He goes from I didn't know them to yes, I did kill them. Mm-hmm. That's why they're saying that his statements are so inconsistent. So he says that he did kill them with his bare hands, and he did lie about his involvement during his interviews with the police and in the media on the day of the crimes.
Yeah.
He said he didn't tell the truth because he was scared and embarrassed. Embarrassed here. Okay, this is his story. He met them. He and Luis met them for dinner that night, and they went back to their apartment after socializing. They were joined by Mario, had a good time. They're drinking, they're partying, doing their thing. He said that he never, even though other people saw him do it, 2 people, mind you, saw him do it, he never went down to his bedroom with Guy and Jose. He said he did at one point give them a brief tour of the apartment to show them where the blankets and pillows were kept because he was more comfortable if they spent the night rather than go home so drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just only worried about their safety.
What a guy.
And he's just a hell of a mensch is what it is.
Good friend.
So, good friend. He said that that's all he was doing. He said that, yes, he did jump on Mario that one time, but he said he didn't straddle him. He jumped on Mario's back, and he said, I most certainly didn't have my shirt off. It wasn't a shirtless straddle. It was a shirted, piggyback ride.
Yeah, right.
A fully clothed piggyback ride.
Fully clothed,
way less
standing
sexual.
up koala bear. That's all.
Now, does that sound sexual to you? No, right? A shirtless straddle, that could be interpreted as sexual. So he said he went to bed around 12:30 and closed his bedroom door. He said at that point, Luis was still awake, Mario was still there drinking, Guy and Jose were still in the living room. So Joaquin says his routine, as was his routine, this is the whole defense attorney's opening. He's got to explain what happened in the story. Because this is our only time in the beginning to set the narrative. This is our narrative we're going to do, and then we'll give you the witnesses to fill it in. So as he does, as his routine, he completely disrobes. He gets completely naked to go to sleep.
Yeah.
As he always does.
Yeah.
Sleeps in the buff with his ass propped in the air also. Yeah. That's the other thing. It's on his stomach with his ass in the air. He testified later on, and he'll testify to this, is what the guy's saying, and this is their story, that he awoke in pain as Guy's penis penetrated his anus. That's what this defense attorney had to say. And he had to put some chest into it, too. Yeah. He had to be like, he awoke in pain as this man's penis penetrated his anus. That's not right.
What would you do, ladies and gentlemen?
If it's in the brown, he can't go down. You know what I'm saying? Acquit. You must acquit. That's what I mean. I think that's what he would have said.
Oh, boy. That's not good at all.
It's in the brown. He's not going down. So, innocent man, everybody.
Yeah.
He says that that is wild. That's what he says. He's been woke up by that. He says that as Guy, even though he woke up, he couldn't get up. He said he woke up and he was, oh my God, what's going on? And he said as Guy raped him, as Guy continued to rape him, Jose held him down by the shoulder and licked his face. So he had to put a little extra stank on it, too, to make it sound like, they were doing real dirty, weird, gay stuff to me. I don't know what it was. They lick each other's faces. Did you know that? It's creepy, man.
With one in his wrinkles, he's holding him by the shoulders, licking his face.
Yeah, that's his story. He saw that in a movie once or something, I'm sure. And
I've never heard of this.
Then he said that he felt shock, panic, and fear, and he said he was concerned Guy had AIDS. He just assumed he had AIDS because he looked kind of sick, and he was aware that he had medical appointments sometimes. I don't. So he must have AIDS. That's what he must have. Has to be AIDS.
50s. He got a lot of checkups.
I assume it's AIDS. I'm sure. Probably AIDS. Has to be. He looks like he lost 5-10 pounds. Probably dying of full-blown AIDS, I assume, right? Yeah, that's all. It can't be that he had the flu or, the week before.
The next time somebody tells me they have a doctor's appointment, I'm just going to go ahead and assume.
Full-blown?
You all right?
Yeah. Full-blown, too. I mean, really, he's on his way out.
You all right?
Yeah.
How's your
He's got
count?
Full Luganus, or what are we talking here? How are we doing?
Look at you, Rock Hudson. Enjoy it.
On a scale from Ryan White to Magic Johnson, where are you? Where are you on that scale?
What a ridiculous conclusion to jump to. As a guy who's been raped, James, none of those thoughts go through your head. I promise you that.
I didn't want to say it. Okay, thank you. I didn't want to say, now, Jimmy, tell me through your experience. That's for you to bring up.
Those are the last.
I was hoping you would probably say that.
It's been 31 years since, and I still have not thought that.
That was his immediate
thought.
Right now. Ew, he licked my face, and I bet I have AIDS now. Those were his thoughts.
First thought is always, I hope this is over soon.
I'd like this out of my asshole would be the first thought, probably.
I hope this stops before I finish this thought is the first thought.
Yeah.
Then the second is somewhere around, holy fuck, this hurts. And I'm probably going to die from this. Those are the two immediates.
Not the logic of, well, guy looks kind of sick. I heard he had a doctor's appointment the other day. I better get him to stop fucking me then. If he looked fine, I would have let him pound away on me, even though it wasn't consensual. But I thought, oh, God, he looks sick. I better stop. So he said it was at that point the fear of AIDS got in him, and then he was able to struggle free because he was so fueled by the fear of AIDS that he was struggled free. And he got up from the bed and went into the bathroom, which was in the hallway, as we know.
Yeah.
He said that at that point, he said, hey, you guys get out of here. You leave. You're bad rapist people, and you get out of my house, right? He said in the bathroom, he turned the water on in the sink and in the bathtub, get them both cranking, and he washed his face to remove Jose's saliva because he could feel the spit drying on there. He said he prepared to get in the shower at that point.
Right, because you got to wash that backside, too.
Got to wash it all out. And he figured that, he told them to leave. I'm sure, they did try to rape him, but I'm sure they're not impolite. I'm sure they'll leave when told to leave. Yeah, they're rapists, but there's a limit to your, going to spit in someone's hospitality. There's a fucking limit to that. He shows you where the pillows and blankets are. When he tells you to leave, you leave.
Rapists never loiter.
No, that's the thing. They are, once you tell them to leave, they'll leave. So he said that as he prepared to get in the shower, Guy came into the bathroom again. Man, this guy, he is something. He said that Guy approached him and tried to grab him by the shoulders.
Yeah.
I don't know if in like, hey, buddy, it's an okay massagey way, or in like I'm going to grab you and pull you down to my dick more. Yeah. I'm not sure. But he said, I told him to get away from me, and I pushed him. Mm-hmm. And that caused him to fall into the bathtub, which had been on. So there's water in there, He said, so then he grabbed Guy by the throat and hit him approximately 10 times while he was holding him down.
Okay.
Grabbed him by the throat and just started, punching him. He said that he possibly squeezed Guy's throat. He's not sure, though, because it was all happened so quickly, and his fear of AIDS took over his rational thought also. That's the other thing. So he said, but he definitely hit Guy in the face as hard as he could. Mm-hmm. He was wailing on him, he said. He said Guy struggled some while he was hitting him, but he stayed in the bathtub where he first fell, and that's where they found him. Dead, was in the bathtub. So he said at that point, once Guy seemed like he wasn't moving anymore, Joaquin just washed his hands of the blood, and then he walked out of the bathroom. He said as he walked out of the bathroom and went to enter his bedroom, he ran into Jose, who was exiting the bedroom. Yeah. Oh, boy. He said, you get out of here right now, Jose. You leave. You leave my apartment.
Son of a bitch.
You pervert. Yeah, you get out of here right now, you face-licking pervert. He told him to leave, and he said they struggled because Jose was like, no, buddy, I'll fight you, obviously, because you know how to fight and you're 30 years younger than me, but I think we should have a physical altercation.
Right.
So he said that while they struggled, Joaquin said he pushed Jose toward the living room. And at that point, Jose punched him in the face. Oh man. This poor guy, he's been raped and licked and punched. He's really been through the ringer tonight here. So he says at that point, he hit him, and then Joaquin said he hit him back. You take that, buddy. And that's when Jose fell to the ground. He said he couldn't tell if Jose was conscious or not, but he knows he didn't move after the first punch, which is a good sign of unconsciousness. Usually people will at least grab where they've been punched if they're conscious. Ouch, hit here and it hurts.
Yeah.
So, no. He said that, that's how that went. Then he said he hit Jose approximately 10 times as hard as he could. And he said that he may or may not have stated, he's not sure, but it's pretty sure he could have been yelling, quote, "Don't you ever put your fucking tongue down my throat." Okay. But he was referring to when Jose licked his face and attempted to kiss him. So he's just general beef with Jose's tongue, apparently. He just doesn't like it.
Okay.
He said then he kicked Jose where there was a hole in the drywall, but he doesn't know if he put him through the drywall. He said that he felt Luis grab him and told Luis several times not to touch him. And after Luis attempted to intervene and then left, he tried to drag Jose out of the apartment. That's Joaquin did.
So Joaquin's saying all of this happened with Luis still there.
Luis was there, and then he said Luis left, and then he said, because he has to reconcile Luis being there because he is there. He's a witness. So he said Luis left. At that point, he tried to drag Jose out of the apartment and apparently got, fucking as far as the living room near the door. He said, so after that, Joaquin said he walked outside of his apartment for a minute, get a breath of fresh air.
Fresh air is, that fresh California air.
Some nice air in here, get some windmill air going. And then he said he went back inside and splashed some water on himself and may or may not have tried to wipe down the apartment, but maybe not. Who knows? I'm not sure. How that goes. He said that he also ripped both of their shirts in anger.
Okay.
After they were dead. Then he went and ripped their shirts because he was still so mad at them that the only way he could get it out was to rip a shirt.
Okay.
Which is, again, very strange. He said that the police probably arrived about 20 minutes later, and he does recall answering the door, and he does remember pretending nothing happened. That is true. He did do that, but it's only because he was so scared and panicked and embarrassed. Now that makes sense, right? Okay. So we can all go home? No. He said that he did not want to enter the patrol car. That was true. He was upset and agitated, but he absolutely did not scream and yell, never threatened anyone, didn't say he wanted to kill anyone, and he would never call an officer of the law, a sworn officer of the law, Chuck Liddell. Never did that and wouldn't do that because that's ridiculous, and he's not that kind of guy.
It's 2014. There's no cameras in this car?
Apparently not.
Oh, damn it.
We're in Tehachapi, California.
Right.
No, they don't have. They're like cameras. They're down in Los Angeles. They got cameras for movies.
Fuck you
up
think
here.
we are? Newport Beach?
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Think we are San Francisco? I didn't think so. Fancy. All fancy. You think we are Modesto? Think we're all fancy Modesto? No, I didn't think so.
This place is a piece of shit.
We had so many Modesto conversations this weekend. Talking about Modesto for 45 minutes on a car ride this week. That was ridiculous.
What a horrible place.
Neither of us ever hung out in Modesto, but we've heard terrible things about it.
How dare they call themselves California?
Like, ugh, this is bad. Just say Nevada and shut the fuck up.
Bakersfield closer to the beach.
Yeah. Oh, God. So he would never call an officer of the law Chuck Liddell. Mm-hmm. He would never threaten to kill anybody. He also said that he never threatened them. He didn't try to damage the police car. He definitely didn't try to kick out windows. Okay. They put the cuffs on him, and he calmly sat in the car and awaited his transportation, and he said out of nowhere, the door opens, and they started pepper spraying me for nothing.
Son of a bitches.
Quote, for no reason, the defense attorney says. He said he only slipped his arms from behind his back to his front because he was in extreme pain from the handcuffs.
Yeah, and from the rape.
Also the rape. He was, the rape, the handcuffs. No, his butthole's fine now. It's recovered. Now he's more worried about handcuff things. And he said while he was being transported, he slipped his arms forward a second time, but, that was only because he was so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And he said, yes, while he was being questioned, the detective did give him an opening to explain what happened by asking him whether, quote, some gay stuff went on. But he was in denial, and he lied because he was, quote, ashamed, embarrassed, and fearful.
Yeah, that was a nice door opened where you could have reported a rape.
Yeah. Oh, they tried to rape me. I had to beat them off of me. That doesn't sound right. That sounded worse than... Okay, God, I am 0 for 2 on shit that's accidental gay puns today.
They tried to rape me. Instead, I beat them off.
Instead, I beat them off is not... Exactly. That's what I said. That's not good. That's bad. So he said that... he denied, he said he never even said a word about Mario during his statement to the police, and the police must have made that up.
Wow.
But on the stand, he says, I do feel like Mario had some involvement in the situation, though. Now that you mention it, he said he thinks he egged on Jose and Guy. Although he did not see Mario after he went to bed at the apartment that evening. He thinks he must have been out there like, yeah, no, go ahead and go fuck him in there. He loves it. No, I talked to him one time. He said his fantasy is to go to sleep and wake up getting raped. He said it's his fantasy. Oz is his favorite show. Seriously.
That is a terrible fantasy.
That's a terrible defense. That's what Mario told these guys. No, go, you should do it. So then he has to sit for cross-examination after he says all that horse shit,
right.
And his attorney walks him through it like, oh, I know this is hard for you, and I know you've, your butthole's still sore and everything else that's going on, but still, we got to do this. So cross-examination, the prosecutor comes in and he's like, you didn't. This today in court is the first time you've ever mentioned anything about rape. This now. Right. This is it. Before that, for the last year and a half, we haven't heard a word about this shit.
Yeah.
Nothing. And he said that, I yes, I did. They go over. You said you had no idea what happened, right? Yes. So you lied about this. So you lied about that. They said there was no significant injuries to you. You weren't attacked. You weren't beaten. You didn't complain of any pain anywhere on your body during your arrest. You didn't ask to go get medical attention. You didn't ask to get, to get tested for anything. None of that. He said, well, I was afraid to find out if I had AIDS then after that, so I didn't want to be tested. I said, okay. So they go over his description of the rape and the pummeling and that he does and everything like that. And he goes, well, that's funny because all of that is inconsistent with the way the blood spatter is. Nothing you're saying matches up with the physical evidence. It all matches up to what Luis says, but not what you say. So that's kind of weird. So then they have a little exchange here. Prosecutor says, but your story today, and this is the first time you ever told anybody else, excluding your attorney, obviously. I don't want to know about any conversations you had with your attorney. That's privileged, he says. But this is the first time you ever said that Jose attacked you, correct? And he says, yes. And he goes, okay. And this is the very, very first time that you've heard all the evidence in this case presented by the people that Guy attacked you. And he says, yes. And then he says, and in that moment in time, later on he says, in that moment in time, your statement, again, for the very first time, and nobody has heard this before, is that Guy attacked you in the bathroom. And there's some objections and all that sort of shit. And I guess he said it was yesterday is the first time, is what they come up with. So, yes. They go, okay, that's fine. And then they also, they categorize it as a Hail Mary attempt at a defense. That's what the prosecution says. Repeatedly calling it his Hail Mary attempt at a fucking, at a defense. So, yeah, he's kind of fucked. And then the next day, DNA is coming into the equation here.
Uh-oh.
There's DNA, and one of the police officers talks about how he was very reluctant to give DNA. He says, I explained to him that we were going to take a swab and some swabs from his body, and he was a bit reluctant to allow me to do that. So I presented him with a search warrant that I had authored.
Oh, boy.
And they said, in addition to allowing you to take a swab, did the search warrant authorize you to take photographs as well? Yes, they did. He says, and did you actually allow the defendant to read the search warrant? And he said, yes, I did. He said, did you watch him looking at it? He said, yes, I did. So, I mean, He knew all of that shit. He said, and after reading the search warrant, they said, did the defendant's demeanor change at all? And he said, I don't know if I would classify it like that. And so they go back and forth like that. And he goes, well, in which way? He said, well, he complied with the search warrant, but he didn't seem happy about it. It was one of those. He wasn't going to do it till there was a search warrant, essentially here. So they collected the DNA from him. They bring him up there and have this back and forth with him about his DNA and fucking, you wanted to give them your DNA, right? And he's like, oh, absolutely. I couldn't wait to give him my DNA. I loved giving my DNA. I asked if I needed to jizz on something. I would have done that. I didn't care. I was like, I'll fucking come all over this room. I don't give a shit. I'm backed up. I was super horny. I mean, no, I didn't mean I was horny earlier. I mean, never mind. So he's a little bit fucked at this point, and he's waiting for the closing arguments because this looks bad. You know what I mean?
Very, yeah.
It looks real fucking bad, and he's not exactly a popular guy around anywhere.
I'm sure he's hated now.
No one really likes him that much, and he's sitting there, and one day he thinks that they're searching the cells. He's like, oh, no, they're coming to search my goddamn cell right now. This totally sucks. This just blows. And it turns out, he's like, oh, they brought fucking dogs this time? Jesus Christ, I don't have any drugs. But it turns out it wasn't a search party. It was Bobby Colorado making a special visit. It turns out he does inmate work with canines in jail, apparently. So he came in there, and he says... How is it you come to arrive here, you fucking jerk-off? What's wrong with you? It's 50-fucking-something-year-old guy. They couldn't even pick out a fucking barbecue. They're gonna pin you down and rape you? Get the fuck out of here. Look at you. You're a fucking Adonis. You know how to punch people. You're all fucking muscly and shit. Get the fuck. I wouldn't even give you one of my dogs. Matter of fact, I got a dog I train real well. Hey, come here. Hey, you. Yeah, that's right. You. Come on. Hey, pee on him. Look at that. Pee right on your fucking leg. Look at it. I trained him to do that. Normally I go, hey, you need a dog. You need some company. But go fuck yourself. You're kind of a jerk-off. You're a fucking liar. You'd not feed the dog. I go, you feed the dog? And you'd go, yeah. And then the dog be fucking starving over here. Fuck you. I don't like you. I'm taking my dogs and I'm leaving. I'm going to go be nice to I'm going to let other inmates pet my dogs. All right? How's that? Poof. And dog shit and marinara sauce. Big cloud. He's gone. He's gone.
Listen, was no gay stuff.
No gay stuff. Hey, listen, I'm not going to do no gay stuff. I'm not here for no gay stuff, all right? So the defense, man, in his closing, fuck me, man. It's a public defender named Pam Singh.
Poor Pam.
And asked the jury for acquittal. You should acquit him on the grounds of self-defense.
Yeah.
And if you can't go that far, how about a lesser charge? Maybe voluntary manslaughter.
Please?
So... Come on.
My record depends on you.
Yeah. They even said while Guy and Jose were they were friendly getting along earlier in the evening, that doesn't mean they weren't going to try to rape him later.
Yeah.
Maybe they were luring him in for the rape, even though he's an MMA fighter, 30 years their junior with two of his friends around. That's the guy you probably got to try to rape, I think. That seems logical. They said both of the men were highly intoxicated, bringing up blood alcohol contents of 0.26 and 0.19, which always means that they must have tried to, tag team rape the guy while he slept, obviously.
What's the level of intoxication where you're welcoming in non-gay people into your gay stuff? You know what I mean?
Totally, yeah, exactly. You're forcing, not welcoming.
Yeah.
Welcoming might be
inviting.
A lower bar, Hey, whatever. But forcing's a different story. That's a lot. So they said, look, listen, there was blood. Joaquin's blood was found on his own mattress.
Oh?
Who has a fucking mattress that doesn't have if they went over with a fine-tooth comb, a speck of your blood on it somewhere?
Probably.
It's there, man. Especially if you just beat two people to death. Your knuckles are going to be... something, you know what I mean? You're going to break the skin.
If you've ever had like a bug bite and scratched it too much until it has a little bit of blood on it, you got blood in your back.
Scratched yourself in the fucking night, done something at
popped a pimple.
Pimple that popped. Yeah, anything. Yeah. It's happened. Your blood is your DNA is all over your fucking bed. It's there, but they said this blood was obviously from being raped.
Oh.
That's what it was, and he said he didn't tell investigators what happened because he was humiliated. He was also scared, both of what he'd done and what had been done to him. He said that, because they were a gay couple, he assumed that they probably gave him AIDS. That's the defense attorney said that. They said, not that that's right, but that was what he was thinking. He doesn't know any better. He's not educated on the matter. And they said, while the killings were especially brutal, because, the fucking pictures look like they've been beaten with a fucking, like they took a railroad tie and beat them to death with it. It's crazy. He said, but they were committed in self-defense. Okay. Come on. So the state, on the other hand, prosecutor says he tells little lies. He tells big lies. He tells lies in between those lies.
Yeah.
That's a fucking awesome
that
statement.
Sounds like
there.
a lyric to something.
Yeah, he tells big lies. It sounds like a commercial. He tells lies in between the lies. All the lies. Get your lies now. $19.99. Lies all month. New supply of lies every month. More lies. He's got all the lies.
It sounds like the lyrics to a song of a breakup song from some girl.
Or like a Peter Gabriel song. Yeah. In your lies.
Yeah.
The rape and the punch in your lies. So he said the defense again goes through the whole thing. He awoke to find himself in pain and being raped in his own bed. My God. He said he didn't strike either one of them in the bedroom or yell for help or even wake Luis up or even call 911. He just went to the bathroom to try to get the spit off his face and feel like a person again. And they said, when the guy reached out for him in the bathroom, he just knocked him backward just to say, get away from me with your penis and everything, and then he fell into the tub and he goes, wow, since he's already there, I don't want him to get up and obviously do that to me again. So he just held him by the throat and rained blows down upon him, accidentally causing his death. Yeah. He said, again, he didn't call 911 and wake Luis up, go, holy shit, go seek safety, call 911. Instead, he was just like, I'm going to go back to sleep now. And he saw Jose, and then he had this big struggle, and he was even undeterred by his friend trying to pull them off the man. He even said, no, get the fuck away from me, and continued to beat him to death. He said he acted out of anger, and there's no evidence. There was evidence after the murders that he attempted to clean himself up and clean the crime scene up. When the police arrived, he didn't tell them he'd been raped or that he killed either of these people. To the contrary, he said, I don't know what you're talking about. Basically all of that. They said that he said that he figured that they had HIV. They went on that whole thing like that was going to be a real reason. So the verdict comes after 3 days of deliberations.
Wow.
It's like the end of one day, a whole day, and then half another day.
That's insane.
It's a lot, but it's because of the degrees of murder and stuff like that. It's complicated, so they actually requested further instruction a couple of times.
Okay.
Like, we need to get a little more clarification, which I like that.
Yeah.
Get it right. Get it right. That's what I say. Take an extra day, but get it right. They were looking for the meaning of, quote, the test for deliberation and premeditation is the extent of the reflection, not the length of time. Okay. So they were wondering about that, and also they asked for a readback of the coroner's testimony, and and they also they come in and they're ready after 3 days with verdicts here, and it's anywhere from self-defense, you have a good one, we're sorry what happened to you, buddy, to first-degree murder, and all that entails. So they come back and find him guilty, obviously of something, of 2 counts of first-degree murder.
Holy shit.
They didn't believe shit. As the verdict was read, Balassa said, I was only defending myself.
No, sir, it's too late.
And then placed his hands over his face, which will be on the social media post. It's a great picture of him at the table with his hands over his face, really looking. He did that, and there's that. So they asked the prosecutor if he was happy. He said they were very careful and took their time about the jurors. He said they were impressed with how, he said he talked to the jurors afterwards, and he said they were impressed with how the whole thing ran. They thought it was very professional. The jurors did. So he said that the self-defense argument came a little too late. He said if he would have said that the second the police took him in, if the cops knocked on the door and he said, thank God you're here. These 2 guys tried to rape me and I just beat him to death. He'd have had a case at that point, possibly. You know what I mean? I was just trying to call 911, like phone's in my hand, but you're here. Never mind. Great. But instead, it doesn't work like
He
that.
kind of
They
has
said-
to answer the phone or answer the door holding the phone, right? Being like,
Yeah.
you guys got here fast.
Holding a code. Oh, my God. Thank God. See that guy? Total rapist. I don't know if he's dead or not, but if he's alive, cuff him because he's a rapist.
Yeah. Also, swab my butthole and you'll find them in there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he said no. He told so many lies and so many things were inconsistent. Then he goes on to say, it was really disgusting, frankly, that he would try to take on the role of a victim in a sexual crime. He had multiple opportunities to say what happened and chose to lie. Mm-hmm. He said that although it was all unclear and he doesn't know why he did this exactly, they know that he definitely did it. He said, what we do know is that Joaquin Balassa is responsible for them and that he, to quote the pathologist, finished these two off. My God, Jesus
damn
Christ.
it. Don't do that.
Finished them off? Really? Like we said, to quote the pathologist, like, I'm not saying that. That's the pathologist's bad gay sex pun. Then he clarifies, he murdered them in cold blood, and as the jury found, that's murder in the first degree. Mm-hmm. So a friend of the couple, of Guy and Jose, who was at the trial the whole time, he said, quote, Guy and Jose had a great life and had a joy to the lives of many of their friends. That's what his quote was. So he was happy that he was found guilty. Sentencing comes around. Mm-hmm. A lot of sentencing options as well here.
Oh, boy.
But what he gets is, you, sir, may fuck off life without parole.
It's over for him.
×2.
Wow.
Bang, bang. Yeah. 2 life, concurrent, but he gets a life without parole for both of them. First-degree murder for both of them.
Wow.
Fucked is what he is. Not raped, but fucked.
Right.
I wish I could call this title Not Raped, but Fucked. That would be but I can't. I don't think Apple Podcasts will let that fly on the
Not
platform,
raped,
probably.
but absolutely drilled.
Not raped, but ass-reamed. I don't think they'll let me put that. So, he has some appeals here, basically. His appeals are on the fact that he said he considered them, them friends, and they were raping him. And he appealed on factual matters, but he also appealed saying that the prosecutor said that the fact that the prosecutor put forth that he was a little bit reluctant to give DNA, and he said that went against his rights, and he was saying stuff like that. Little things the prosecutor said went against his Fifth and Sixth Amendment rights. Okay, is what he was saying. So they said his lack of cooperation in the face of a valid warrant is not an invocation of his Fourth Amendment rights, is what the court decided. That's just being uncooperative. Mm-hmm. That's not. You didn't say. You did not testify pleading the Fifth Amendment, which is what that's for. You just were uncooperative, so they can bring that up. It's not like they're not allowed to say, like, because the defendant obviously doesn't have to testify. Right. If the defendant doesn't testify, the prosecutor's not allowed to go, and what's he hiding, not testifying? You're not allowed to say that. Yeah. You have, because that's their right to not testify, so you can't do that. So anyway, the result is the appeals court noted that he told 2 starkly contrasting versions of events that could not be reconciled. Okay. He's a fucking liar is what they said about Balassa. They said changing his story significantly damaged his credibility and undermined his claim that he had been victimized. The prosecutor was entitled to use, and did use, Balassa's prior inconsistent statement, including his failure to mention any need for self-defense to the detectives, to impeach his credibility as to his self-defense claim at trial. And they said that the court upholds his both murder convictions here, and they said that, the legal appeal, the appellate court judges made note of the scene. They said this, quote, one of the officers told the other when the defendant opened the door, they saw broken glass and what appeared to be a large amount of blood in the entryway, leading her, the officer, to believe someone inside was either seriously injured or dead, because he was trying to say they shouldn't have kept coming back in his house. Okay. They should have left him alone. Uh-huh. But they are saying, well, they saw blood in the house, so they don't have to leave you alone. Then they also said the appeal also details how, when the police enters the home, they describe the scene as very bloody. The appeals court goes on to say if Balassa was so concerned about being exposed to HIV, why would he kill his victims in such an intimate way that resulted in so much bloodshed that could have easily exposed him to the virus? In additionally, according to the appeal, neither of the defendant's victims was in fact HIV positive, is the other thing they found out.
What a fascinating thought.
Yeah, well,
why would you spray the AIDS all over?
Yeah. Oh, I'm so scared. Bleed on me. And also, I'm going to bleed from hitting you, and then we
Right.
can mix our blood together. That'd be great also. There is a small win in it, though. The court ruled that one of the special circumstances finding against him must be reversed because it's a duplicate thing, basically. And a parole revocation fine of $300 must be removed because his prison term does not include the possibility of parole.
Oh, that's a win. $300.
So yeah, he doesn't have to pay $300.
He
that
comes
thought he
up
had to pay.
$300. That's great.
So there you go. They don't give him $300.
Right.
He just doesn't have to pay $300 now. Now there is a petition, by the way, on thepetitionsite.com, which is a knockoff change.org, I feel like. And I will tell you the amount of support it has at the end of this, okay? And I'll tell you what their goal is and everything, but let me read this to you. This is, let me give you who this is. Suzanne M. Nelson, who's a, quote, very close friend / family member, is how she describes herself. She writes the pitch for why you should support this petition. Here we go. Joaquin Miguel Balassa, age 26 at the time of his crime, is currently serving 2 life sentences without parole in California prison. He was stalked and made a victim himself to a homosexual male married couple much older than himself. The couple first came in touch with Joaquin while looking at barbecues at the Home Depot where Joaquin had been employed. After successfully selling the couple a barbecue, the 2 men invited Joaquin to join them for a barbecue and drinks at their home that weekend. Not wanting to be rude, Joaquin said he might think about it, and they exchanged phone numbers. Joaquin received the first text message the following day, which he ignored, and continued to receive texts throughout the day. By the 4th day, Joaquin finally agreed to see the 2 men for dinner and drinks at a local restaurant close to Joaquin's apartment. She just compressed 6 months.
Yeah.
She put a 6-month period of time when there was no trouble, nothing happened. She acted like they bought the barbecue.
In a week.
Yeah, in a weekend. Yeah, they bought the barbecue. He didn't want to come over. Next day, they were pestering. That's not what happened. It was that's ridiculous. Anyway, by the 4th day, Joaquin finally agreed to join the 2 men for drinks and dinner at a local restaurant close to Joaquin's apartment. Joaquin asked his roommate if he wanted to go, and he agreed. While having dinner, all 4 men were drinking alcohol to the point where the waitress and other witnesses admitted the men were very drunk and extremely drunk.
Yeah, but if you are worried and stalked, you are not going willingly and getting shithoused with 2 guys that are stalking you. Are you out of your fucking mind?
Yeah, you might have a drink and then you go, oh, I got to go. I
Right.
got my girlfriend's waiting for me.
Right.
That's it. You don't go,
Lower
yeah,
my
get
inhibitions.
another pitcher.
Yeah. Another round of margaritas in pitcher form.
Please. So they said, quote, in the parking lot of the restaurant, Joaquin waited with one of the men and his roommate while the other man went to the liquor store, which was located in the same shopping center, and bought bottles of whiskey and a 30-pack of beer. The gay couple suggested they all drive to their home, which was about 15 minutes from the restaurant. By the way, she left out all the part about the fucking like grab-assy, shirtless fucking, Nazi youth running games in the fucking back there. Then says Joaquin suggested they all go to his apartment since it was less than 2 minutes away. Since they all had been drinking, it would be safer to drive. They all agreed and proceeded to go to Joaquin's apartment. Once there, they continued drinking and were quite, quote, wasted. And at one point, one of the gay men, she can't say anything without saying one of the gay men, attempted to kiss Joaquin by trying to force his tongue into Joaquin's mouth. Of course, Joaquin was angered and disgusted. As Joaquin is not gay. He is a straight young man. That's a sentence. Joaquin pushes the man away from him and walks to his bedroom and passes out on his bed. Get away from me, gay dude. I'm tired. Flop.
A man got close enough to put his tongue in his mouth. That's fascinating.
Next, Joaquin is awakened by both of these men holding him down, one man with his penis in Joaquin's rectum, and the other man holding him down so the other could rape him. Imagine the horror. Imagine if that's real. That would be horrible, but it's not here. That's the problem.
Right.
Yeah, if it happened, and when it does happen to people, horrible.
Right.
Here, no. Joaquin immediately starts fighting to get these men off him. In Joaquin's past, he had trained as an MMA cage fighter in which he only had one fight, which he lost. That being said, Joaquin used his skills as a fighter to ultimately get these men off of him, which unfortunately for the rapists ended their lives that night. Joaquin only defended himself against these monsters. There was no gun, no weapons, only his bare hands and his skills that saved his life that night. The police came, observed 2 dead men. Joaquin was still there. He was accused, cuffed, charged, and sentenced, and is now serving 2 life sentences without parole. Now, I ask a few questions to anybody reading this now. They started and ended the sentence with now.
Yeah.
Now I ask a few questions to anyone reading this now. Bad. If you were raped, number 1, they're numbered, by the way. Number 1, if you were raped, why would you not try anything and everything to get away from your attacker, even if it meant killing the rapist?
Oh,
wouldn't you kill them?
What a question. Does that mean that every rape should have to end with the rapist dead?
Someone should be dead at the end of it, right, I guess? Would you maybe lie to police and tell them you don't remember what happened because of humiliation, shame, disgust, and public ridicule? You work at Home Depot. What
Right.
public ridicule? It's not like it's fucking LeBron killed 2 guys who tried to rape him. This is you're literally the fucking the lumber guy at Home Depot. Calm down.
You would be a hero.
If you murdered 2 men with your bare hands in your own apartment for no particular reason at all, would you stay in the apartment until police arrived?
No, you'd probably stay in the apartment until you could figure it out. Unfortunately, the police showed up before he could.
Yeah, and if you're so fucking drunk you can't figure it out, you go, I'm going to sleep for a while and I'll wake up and figure it out. We've covered a ton of murders where people wake up after they killed somebody. 4, after reading Joaquin's story here, now, would you do him a favor and show him your support by signing this petition or sending him a card or letter to show him he's not alone in this terrible mess? It's my personal opinion that justice is non-existent in so many courthouses today. Everybody we count on is in, quote, it for so many other reasons. That's why I have to hope for humans with feelings. And that's not... They put an apostrophe where one doesn't belong. No one proofread this. You're pleading for a man's life. With feelings, people with hearts, real hearts and minds that see through all the bullshit going on today in our courtrooms and in our White House with our police officers, sheriff's officers, and so on and so on. Please help. This is, by the way, like very new. Yeah. Please help Joaquin if he needs your help. He appreciates your time and concern for his situation. He can only do so much from his prison cell. He has nobody to depend on to give him hope, to set him free. Thank you. Be safe. This has they're trying to get 1,000 people to sign this. It has 6 right now.
I think they're in a lot of trouble.
And that includes Suzanne, who wrote it.
Right.
So 5 and Suzanne.
If you can get me the address, James, I am going to send him a card to remind him he is alone in this.
You're alone in this, sir. Sir, I just want to tell you you're alone in this. You're an idiot and you're alone in this. I love that so much. So then, under Suzanne's name, she has a thing. This case and every single case like it should be important to every single person on this earth. What should each of us individually expect if something like this were to happen in our own lives? It's just important. We only have one life.
Suzanne, you've been snowed.
Wow. By the way, I found quickly here at the end of this, I found a study. This is somebody named W. Karsten Anderson.
WC?
Or Andrus. WC. Old WC there. Andressen, sorry. It's a new study. Came out in 2022. And it's a study of of gay and trans people being murdered, but it's very there's a lot of sociological stuff in it, but there's a lot of statistics in it as well, and that's what I'm interested in here right this minute. And it's weird that they said the average age of an offender, because this is the average gay men victims year 2000 to 2019. Just anytime gay men are victims of a murder, this is what it is. The average age of the victim is 43.91, so 44 basically. This guy was 54. Average age of the offender, 26, exactly how old Joaquin was. Exactly. So this is very common, this exact deal. Weapons but used, by the way. The options are... Well, I'm going to give you the options first. The options are multiple weapons is one, firearm, knife, hands, objects, multiple stabbings, which is 5 or more stab wounds, And then one is provocation, and when one is self-defense. Okay, there's that also. Though those are the different defenses. The different defenses are provocation, self-defense. Self-defense was used 83% of the time.
Is that right?
So what was the most used form of murder? For
knife.
That,
multiple stab wounds.
Multiple. It is knife, not multiple, but knife 42.65% of the time. Second most, hands 35.29. Right? Bare fucking hands. Hands and knives. Very personal. Very personal. Firearm 16% of the time.
So rare.
This is in America.
Yeah.
There's no other category of murder where a firearm's only used 16% of the time in fucking America. It's just doesn't exist.
There's no other form of murder that knife is north of 40%.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Nuts.
So I found those statistics to be kind of telling and personal.
I had a gut feeling that it was knives.
Yeah, it's weird because it's personal.
Yeah.
That's why. You could feel it. And I didn't even think of hands as an option, even though we just talked about that, and that's second place. Between the two of them, it's 42.65 and 35, so it's fucking 77% between the two of them are knives or hands.
And hands.
Think about that. That's wild. That's fucking wild.
Both of those are horrible ways to die.
Yeah. And the multiple weapons one that goes with both. That's if you punch somebody and then stab them. Yeah. But a firearm only 16% of the time. So there you go. He's in prison. He had another appeal on some other legal ground in 2021 that didn't work out. Yeah. He's still got tons of legal stuff going on because he's got life without. So he's going to be going to court.
Yeah.
He's going to be going to court quite often for a while now. But
story.
He is convicted. Now, quickly, I just want to give everybody the Aqib Talib update.
It's baffling.
Because somehow we called that complete thing happening. I don't know how. No, we didn't. But I feel like maybe they were angry at the Crime and Sports episode and took it out on this guy. I don't know what happened. Allegedly.
Did we not say that he's not done with guns?
We said he's not done with guns, but we thought maybe he was older and more chilled out of not go.
Yeah.
We said it like he's not going to be going to strip clubs anymore. We never thought that on a goddamn weekend afternoon and a fucking before 11 a.m. at a youth football game, there'd be gunplay he'd get into. Usually our updates come like a year and a half later or something. Yeah. This comes, we're recording it now, but the update was necessary like 5 days after putting the episode out, which has never happened before.
A record.
Especially something this big. It's not like, they got a DUI or they, did something. This is a shooting happens.
Yeah.
And allegedly, we're saying we're blanketing this whole thing with allegedly because none of it's gone through the court system yet. We're only going on what has happened so far. And by the time this comes out publicly next week, because we'll release it tonight on Wondery Plus, by the time it comes out publicly next week, it could be a completely different narrative. We have no fucking idea. But as of right now, Jacob, his older brother, or his younger brother, Aqib's younger brother, is 39. Mm-hmm. He and Aqib are apparently coaches for a youth football team, the North Dallas United Bobcats. They're the So you figure, that's kind of cool. Let's get a youth league, and that's an NFL player who's a current NFL analyst.
Forget that. He's a Super Bowl winner.
He's a Super Bowl champ. He's coaching the kids who play against them. You think that'd be pretty cool. And as a coach, you're like, I talked to some shop with this guy. It's pretty cool and shit like that. And by the way, Jacob and Aqib are very close.
Yeah.
They're the close brothers. Here's a quote from Aqib from back in the day. I think we did this in the episode. My brother would always pick me on his team. We would play outside, and I would play with all the older guys, and he would pick me on his team first. He was a big influence on me, just playing with an older crowd all the time. So by the time I played with people my age, I was like, I'm used to playing with guys older than you. He played a real big part in my football career. So...
and continued in my post-career coaching. The man just got an enormous contract from Amazon to do live commentary.
Like 3 days before the episode came out. Which was
last
crazy.
Week.
Since we recorded the episode, he got a huge contract and is involved in a shooting. Like, it's fucking bananas. And it's only been a week and a half, it's 2 weeks since we've recorded the episode.
An enormous couple of weeks.
Holy shit. This is fucking crazy, man. So, I guess they were coaches on one of the teams, and then there was another coached by a guy named Mike Hickman, is Hickmon is his name, and Yeah, they are. I guess he coaches the Dragons. Yeah, he coaches the Dragons, the DEA Dragons. And the Dragons president, a youth football team as a president. Wow. Come on. You don't need a president. Said the dispute began when Hickman went to pick up a football and someone kicked it away from him.
Because the game was over.
The game was over. Now, game was over. Now, what you see in the beginning, there's a video for this. You can't really see the details, but what you see in the beginning, and this is what the camera's trained on at first, is one of the other coaches, not Hickman or either of the Talibs, one of the other coaches, I assume one of Hickman's on his side, is holding. Yeah. He's holding the football, I think the one in question, and he keeps jawing at a referee while another referee tries to get in between him and telling him, come on, man, game's over, fuck this. He's saying, come on, man, you can't be letting shit like that go.
Yeah.
That's disrespectful. So he was saying you can't let the kids disrespect the coaches by letting them kick a ball away like that. And the ref's like, basically, the game's over. What the fuck am I going to do? Give him a 10-yard penalty? Tell him he can't have ice cream with the team after? Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do?
It's like the ref knew that there were Talibs on the field who are storied for having guns.
And we said, yeah. The weird part is, at the end of the episode, we said that about it looks like he's good because he's not going out at night and shit. We never would have thought on a Saturday morning he's going to get in a gunplay. And Aqib, by the way, is not even at this point even partially accused of shooting anybody.
No.
His brother is accused of being the man who fired 5 shots off in this whole thing.
Right.
But during this whole deal, while this one coach is arguing with the refs, a giant Heathcliff-style fracas breaks out in the background.
Absolute bedlam.
Where it's just a giant group of people that's like in a swirl while a cloud of dust is around them with just a foot and an arm popping out every once in a while. There's stars in there, all sorts of shit.
The first down markers, for whatever reason, are being slung at people.
They're being slung at people. It's a general melee going on in the middle. And the the Talib brothers are right in the middle of this whole fucking thing. Yep. Right in the middle. This is a release from the police here. Quote, during the disagreement, the opposing coach staff were involved in a physical altercation, and one of the individuals involved in the altercation, allegedly Yaqub Talib, discharged a firearm, striking one adult male. 5 shots ring out. It's a deep sound.
Yeah.
They sound what fucking I can't wait to hear what caliber that was.
It sounded
wasn't
like
small.
a 38, but it may just been a 9mm, or a 40.
Either way, it sounded like a 40
I'll bet it's a
to
45.
Me. That's what
I'll bet you
it might have been, dude.
Yeah.
It sounded like a fucking. It was
big.
Boom. That wasn't a crack. That was a fucking boom, man. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't know what if the audio on a phone recording too is going to change it, but from what I heard, I was like, that sounded large caliber, man. That sounded fucking. That sounded nasty. Then you see the camera pan to the ground and because people are fucking running.
Yeah.
From there, you hear like little tiny girl screams, like 5-year-old girl screams. You hear people panic and you hear, oh, God, get them off the field. I mean, it's fucking like you would do if if there's 40 children on a field where gunshots are ringing out. You would fucking be like, run, motherfucker, you know? We're here. It's supposed to be a nice thing for the kids, man. Yeah. It's for the kids. What are we fucking doing?
Even crazier, James. As when you're as a coach on like a field, you're wearing athletic clothing. Those do not hold weapons. Like where the fuck did he have that
Somewhere.
At the ready just to yank out and start blasting like that? Unbelievable.
Packs over the shoulder or some shit down in the
story this is.
One of the president of the team, because they ended up striking and killing this man. Yeah. This man died. Hickman is dead.
Right.
This guy died while coaching a fucking youth football team.
Can you imagine?
He is he has 3 children and he's a grandfather of 3.
What the fuck?
And he's fucking dead over this. It's ridiculous. It's pointless. The one guy, the president of his team, said, I don't know how to explain it to the kids. That's the part I'm stuck on right now. How do I explain it to them? Why? This is something these kids will remember the rest of their life. Yeah, you just scarred a shitload of kids.
Yeah.
Nice job. They said this is the police department. The altercation became physical, leading to the suspect pulling out a firearm and shooting Mr. Hickman multiple times. After the shooting, the suspect fled the scene in an unidentified vehicle, taking the firearm with him. That's the other thing.
He ran.
He fucking ran afterwards. The defense attorney, because now he turned himself in today or yesterday, I can't remember, and he's being charged with murder, obviously, in the first degree. because it seems whatever. And they said that his lawyer, Clark Birdsall, said that he's going to claim self-defense. He says, Mr. Talib regrets the tragic loss of life, but turned himself into the law so he could tell his side of the story. Yeah, they said that that was that. His family gave a statement. Mike Hickman's Cicely Hickman, his wife, said, quote, Mike was an amazing husband, son, father, grandfather, brother, friend, and coach. Our family is grieving. Right now, we don't see an end to our grief. We'll miss him immensely. We always will. We'll love him forever. Yeah.
Heartbreaking.
Get killed for no. I'm going to coach the team. Okay. Don't, try not to get shot by a fucking NFL player's brother. Oh, no problem. Bye.
What? The Talibs.
Allegedly. Yeah. Watch out for the Talibs. Oh, shit. It's that team. Watch out for them Talibs.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah, they said it's fucking horrible, obviously. Aqib, though, he said that he's very distraught and devastated over this terrible loss of life, and says he would like to convey his condolences to the family of the victim and to everyone who witnessed this unfortunate tragedy.
Oh, thank you for that. Okay.
Please don't make me not call football games, because I just got a contract I'd like to keep. God damn it.
They need to check if Hickman is still wearing his chain, because if he isn't, I got news for you.
Yeah, someone's got it.
Yeah, somebody didn't. I think I found the perp.
Yeah. Oh, shit. So that's Joaquin. Michael Crabtree him. So that's Joaquin Fire Balassa and his murders and his crazy-ass shit. What a crazy fucking story. If you like that story, or you just like the way we told it, that's more likely, probably. Yeah. Go ahead and tell the world about it. Get on whatever app you're listening on and give us 5 stars. Any and all of them. Fuck it. Throw it around. Spread it around like Jizz Skeet would. Do something. Give us 5 stars. It helps a lot. Say something nice about it. It's not for our ego, but it helps us a lot. It helps drive us up the charts. Also, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Get all your merchandise. Get your tickets to live shows.
Yes.
Oh, well, they're all over the place. We're at the Pabst for Small Town Murder in Milwaukee on September the 10th. That almost sold out, actually. It's a huge theater.
It's so close.
Almost sold out. If you want your tickets, get them right now, because they're not going to be there the night of the show, probably. So do that. And we're also in Tampa and Orlando on September 23rd and 24th. 2 shows each those nights, both of those at the Improvs. Get your tickets to those right now and keep doing that. Social media, we are at Crime and Sports on Twitter and Facebook, at Small Town Murder on Instagram. That said, also Patreon. Patreon.com/Crime and Sports is where you get all the bonus stuff. Yeah. Tons in the back catalog, and you're going to get it all. And it's for the low price of only $5 or more a month. Whatever you want to do beyond $5 is up to you. Less than a cup of coffee, you're going to get 4 different episodes every month at least. If it's one of those months with 3 weekends, you'll get more. So do that, or whatever it is, 6 weeks. 6 weekends, 4 something. Not 6. Sometimes it works
5.
out. It's 5, and we get one in the middle and the end and the beginning. Go. Exactly. There you go. Sometimes that happens. Either way, every other week, 2 new goddamn episodes is a better way to put it. This week, what you're going to get, and that's Small Town Murders, Crime and Sports, everything that we put out. This week for Crime and Sports, we're going to talk about some weird sports sex scandals. Not rape or so much, but like Brett Favre's dick pic weirdness. We're going to talk about that. His little freckle pecker flying around the internet. We're going to talk about like this female golfer who allegedly, according to a lawsuit, forced her male caddy to impregnate her or she would fire him. Also some weird... Yeah, he must have been strapping. Some weird Gary Payton stuff also. Some weird sex scandal odds and ends. And then for Small Town Murder, we got crazy stuff. We're going to talk about terrible people. We're going to talk about Leonard Lake and Charles Eng. Oh, horrible serial killers. Lake has over 20 bodies to him at least. Right? I mean, he is fucking horrific, the things he did, and they were torturous too. They weren't videotaping gross things, and it's disgusting. We'll talk about them kind of in their own disgusting words, what they said, and a lot of Charles Eng's testimony and denials, because it's ridiculous as shit. Get all of that and more. Patreon.com/Crime and Sports. And in addition, of course, you're going to get a shout out. And when does that happen? Right fucking now. Jimmy, give me the list of the people who would never, ever, ever kill us in a bathtub and then pretend to sleep while we died. Hit me with them now.
This week's executive producers are Joey Pepperoni Nips and Ruben Barbasol Can Rodriguez. They're going to be at a show somewhere soon. I forget where.
Sweet.
It doesn't matter.
Nip it up.
Yeah. Can't wait to
Thank
see
you.
it, Joey. Georgina Eggington, Yeti Shetty up there in Canada. Kylie McLean, thank you guys so much. Truly,
Thank you.
It means
You guys are the
the
best.
most to us. And also, remember, I just wanted to point out that the gal from Australia that came to see us with Tim.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Oh,
Lucy and Tim,
Lucy,
terrific
yeah.
people. Thank
They
you
were
so
cool.
much.
They
Happy
were fun to
birthday,
meet,
Lucy.
Australians. Thanks for seeing us.
Yeah, and James made good on getting them drunk. Which is
We
also,
did.
Yeah, it's always nice to make good on
We
a
did.
promise. Other producers this week are Myron Shitstein.
Beautiful.
Unbelievable. James Jordan, Liz Vasquez, Peyton Meadows, Corporal Carl Kirshner is on vacation. Good for you. Beaver Nicole and baby Kit. Aaron Steigler, happy birthday. Frank the South African birdwasher. Miranda Schwartzfager. Ooh, that's a tough one. Happy Hour is back home in Marrero, Louisiana. Brian and Sabrina Matvey, happy first anniversary. Hannah Farley, Justine McNeil at Amy Shark's concert. She just showed me who Amy Shark is. She is an Australian singer, and she's wonderful. Brian Kennedy, Janice Hill, Sarah Surridge, Kelly Higby, David Clark sent me a Hank Banks rookie card, James. Keep your eye out for that. Adam Wyatt, Adam Hill, Christine Kaufman, Dave Lefchak, Rather Not Say, Tammy Corbin, Nelson Martinez, Patricia Velasco, Seth Standby. I don't think that's right. I think that was an autocorrect. There's no way their last name is Standby, right?
Standby? Maybe they want to say that.
Standby? Macy Cudd, Ryan Fosna, Sarah Moss Miller, Charlotte Lee, Tierra Hedberg, Jack Frazier, Joshua Clauser, Margaret DeShong, Stephanie Lemming, Kate with no last name, Jackie A., Denise Barton, Sarah Hill, Rope with no last name, Dylan Purdy, maybe of the Purdy paintbrush fortune, Darren Deeks, Shady Grifter, Grace with no last name, Kelly Bell, Laura Lockie, Kim Ramelli, I think, Carrie Smith, Night Nurse Kimberly, Deandra Iacoviti.
Yeah.
Sounds delicious. Kayla with no last name, Lauren Brumette, Carrie Stizen. Nope, that's not right. Brandy Renee, Aisha Lenore, Brenda Huser, Susan Borman, Shane Fitzgerald, Kiki with no last name, Kara Kinney, Allison with no last name, Amy Larson, Philip Kenkush, Luis, nope, that's Lois Hanslick, Mary Dixon, K. Elshoff, Dean Bailey, Marley Langan, Brett, Lindicke. Don't Lind on it.
Lindicky?
Yeah,
Lindicky.
Maybe so. Robert Richardson, Thilo B. with no last name, Esther Winkelmeyer, Donkey Kronk, Vince McMahon, probably not, George Blake, Abby Payette, Bryn Gorman, Joshua Doring.
Got some overalls for you, Jimmy.
Andrew CZ, Charlotte Jermaine, Jesus, Jesus Sicareros. That's not right. Adele Lemonager, Joey Mosader, Free Bowl of Soup, Jeremy James, Melissa Baldwin, Michelle Robinson, Cheyenne Price, Timothy Aiden, Beth Roth. Nope, that's Becky Roth. Claire Beam, Velcro Merkin, gross. Christy Young, Jillian Whitson, Dale Nussbaum, Diana Renkin, Ian McGuire, Anthony Turner, Thomas Garcia, Carrie with no last name, Sarah Thomas, Justin Bringhurst, Carl Trader, Nick Augustine, Shauna Connolly, Justin Sad, Sam Johnston, LJP, Brett Waller, Dylan Nichols, Essence of Joy, Elizabeth Little, Sean Lease, Blair Duhamel, I think, Duhamel, Carl Rogers, Sammy K, Kristen Berman, Tracy Connor, Kelsey Hatfield, Jason Sherlock, Anthony Dentler, Sarah Lyons Bolon, Brendan, Dupuy. No, it's a P-U-I.
I can't see it, so I don't know. Okay.
Carson,
not in front of me.
Carson Schmidt, Ryan Wokash, Kat with no last name, Lana Hartzell, Liz Giles, Justin DeCroy, Christy Brooks, Allison Carlson, Sarah Swan Tackett, Ray Williams, Mill Dale, Kim Schaefer, Megan Henry, Melissa with no last name, Jessica Scholmeyer, Kim Wilson, KP, Mary with no last name, Nicole Areta, Katzenner, Cook, London, Rife, Jody Stancliffe, Donna Exley, Alyssa Tyler, Heather Heather McDarvey, Jessica. Nope, that's Felicia. Jordan.
Those aren't close.
So not even
each other.
close. Samantha Severs, Brenda Mankey, Scott Hoagland, Bob MacArthur, Avery Shoup, Stephen Walden, Tina Rigel. What is this? David Chaplin, Lori Pohl, Sarah Beast, Jenny Soros, Roxanne Cates, Jamie Watson, Ada Reynolds, Carlos with no last name, Maria Duke, Megan Ciafulo, Doug Armistead, Bradley Walter, Maiden Goldblood. That's not right. Cindy Gums, Brandon Blum, Kai Ventura, Mikkel Ellis, Teresa Bergen, Anna Cape, Shatsy Olsen, Rosanna Farrell, James Smith, Riley Triggs, Tiff Coleman, Maddie Campbell, Rebecca Burton Tish. Oh, boy. Claire Wingert, Elliot Hines. It's falling apart. Shania.
Wheels are falling off, man.
Nesta. Stephanie Hernandez. No Fabulation. Wendy Jones. Wyatt Brown. Gregory Ron. Elizabeth Aries. Rachel with no last name. Brandy Janae. Luis Gadiel. Jose Lorenzo. Oh, my God. Megan Brown. Jessica Wilson. Stephanie with no last name. Deanna Hayes. Timu Jarvan. Sounded like
what the fuck was that?
I sounded like a two-stroke
Said Rin Tin Tin. The fuck did you just say?
Brian Eichelberger, Mike Jacoby, Allison Wright, Mulan Yanni, Zach Stubblefield, Allison Deutsch, Jeff Gergel, Jessica Bedsall, Stephen Vroman, Madeline Barber, Shannon Scherer, Curtis Blystone, Amy Furman, Jessica Cole, Joseph Tempert, Marquise Ellis, maybe Marcus, Nicholas Pappas, Mark Lapham, Matt Clutchy, Sam Ziprick, Josh Ruffin, Yasmin White, Casey Hoare Smith, Tyler Warner, Jen with no last name, Jennifer Daniels, Margaret Tuthill, Tootle, Jake Scoggin, Manny Sanchez, Maud Griffiths, Molly Knudsen maybe, Softy Spencer, Lily Parmenter, Wes Kramer, Nicole McCafferty, I almost called her Crafferty. Christine Nicholson, I'm really tired. Victor Marshall, Josh LeBlanc, Josh Dent, Kayla Pierce, Bethany Owensby, Megan Smith, Adrian Taylor, Amy Talbot, Jennifer Arwood, Etta with no last name, Charles Jackson, Jaron Wiley, Victoria Corson, Lisa Marchison, Elizabeth Levine, Robbie Michalik, Jake Slomers, Rhodes Laura, probably Laura Rhodes, Joyce Herbert, Dan Jackson, Dawn with no last name, Lisa Witt, Justin Bowen, Rory, what? Lefesky? I don't know.
Ruh-roh.
Martha Para, Sean with no last name, Casey Jablonski, Katie Long, Corey with no last name, Sarah, nope, that's Salamander, Catherine Simmons, Gabby Galentine, Jamie Seth Schlegel, Evan Adair, all of our patrons and everybody that comes to our live shows. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody, so much from the bottom of our hearts. Can't thank you enough.
Yeah.
You changed our lives. We really hope you enjoy the content and the Patreon content, especially, obviously, because you pay for it. Right. This is free. You don't like it, go fuck yourselves. But Patreon, you pay for, so we want you to like it. Right. Yeah, this, you're not paying for it, so it kills the time, cocksucker. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you so much, honestly, for joining us. If you want to follow us on social media individually, very easy to do so. Go to shutupandgivememurder.com. The links are there to all the social media, or you can just Google Crime and Sports Podcast host. There's only the two of us. Anybody else is a goddamn imitation.
Lying.
That's it.
Bastards.
Lying. Bastards imitate, never originate. You sons of bitches. That said, thank you so much. Live from the Crime and Sports Studios. We will see you next week.
Bye.
If you like crime and sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.